Chapter 411. Within the preparation hall, many geniuses appeared out of thin air. These geniuses came from the various starfields of the Ganwu universe country. All of them had strange appearances. Pushkin! It's Pushkin, beside him is Janelli. The originally quiet preparation hall suddenly had a bit of a commotion, causing Luo Feng to open his eyes and look, only to see two humans appear at the teleportation point ahead. One of them was tall and sturdy. His entire face was covered in golden fur, at least 6 m tall. He was simply a huge ape man. His eyes glowing with a green light was terrifying, especially his fists, they were like two huge hammers. Pushkin? Luo Feng's mind swiftly went through the information given to him by the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Pushkin, an absolute genius nurtured by the Ganwu universe country's imperial family. Adept at using his fists, he has the ability to make it into the top 1,000 of the universe country. He was ranked 9th in the 89th world in the elimination stage. Janelli. Luo Feng glanced at the little guy beside the golden-haired ape man. Even though he was called a little guy, in truth this Janelli was close to 1.9 m tall, taller than Luo Feng. However, when he stood before the 2-story tall ape-man Pushkin, he was just a little guy. Luo Feng didn't know about Janelli's information, at least it wasn't in the information given by the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Pushkin, sit here. Janelli's face was skinny, his eyes cold, like a venomous scorpion. The feeling he gave Luo Feng was similar to Nulan Shan. Good. A thick and powerful voice resounded from Pushkin's throat, reverberating with every word. Janelli and Pushkin walked straight towards Luo Feng and sat beside him. Pung! Pushkin sat in a chair that shook slightly. Luckily, every seat in this preparation hall was designed to be huge, otherwise with Pushkin's huge body, he would have to take up 6 or 7 seats. Pushkin and Janelli sat beside each other. In this row, Luo Feng was right beside Janelli. You. Janelli glanced at Luo Feng beside him, his voice cold. Sit further away. I don't like people getting close to me. You're sick in the head. Luo Feng glanced at Janelli and said coldly, following which he closed his eyes, not even looking at Janelli. Janelli's cold eyes immediately seemed to burn with flames, staring hard at Luo Feng for a moment, like a cobra staring at its prey. However, this was the preparation room. No one was allowed to make a move. Janelli snorted coldly and closed his eyes. Suddenly, the sound of the arena outside could be heard in the preparation room behind. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start Group 382. Let me introduce the 100 geniuses of Group 382. Not only did the clear and loud voice spread throughout the entire arena, but it could also be clearly heard in the preparation hall behind the arena. Behind it was a wave of cheers. First, Pushkin, from the Ganwu universe country, elimination rank 89 world, rank 9. The thunderous cheers shook the entire preparation hall. That's Pushkin. Yes, that's him. His fists are terrifying. Don't let him get close to you. Hushed discussions could be heard in the preparation hall. Second, Janelli, from the Ganwu universe country, elimination rank 13 world, rank 21. The voice of the commentator outside could be heard clearly by every genius in the preparation hall. Only then did Luo Feng open his eyes and glance at the golden-armored cold youth beside him. This Janelli's ranking was actually number 2 out of the 100. He was very strong. Third, fourth, fifth, Luo Feng, from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, elimination rank 1 world, rank 51. The cheers were like thunder. This was the excited cheers of over 1 million people from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Black Dragon Mountain Island, a luxurious palace with over 1,000 people gathered. The emperor dressed in a dark golden robe sat high above. Below him were the many members of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's royal family. As the royal family had existed for a very long time, their population numbered over 100 million. Hence, to be able to attend such a royal banquet, they were definitely the absolute elites of the royal family. or sector lords, domain lords. They were either the nobles who ruled over a region, or the princes who had hopes of inheriting the throne in the future. There were also a few high-status female members of the royal family. It's Luo Feng's turn. The palace was silent. Over 1,000 members of the royal family were watching the screen in mid-air. The screen was broadcasting and the beautiful commentator smiled as she introduced, 5th, Luo Feng, from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Elimination Rank 1 World, Rank 51. Simultaneously, Luo Feng's information appeared on the screen beside the commentator. It's Luo Feng. Haha, Luo Feng will definitely be able to pass this arena easily. From the image, this Luo Feng isn't a normal person. His eyes are filled with killing intent. The palace was immediately filled with discussions. Everyone was saying good things about Luo Feng. Who dared not to say good things? This was the royal family's highest banquet in this genius battle. The Black Dragon Mountain Empire's geniuses only had Luo Feng left. If Luo Feng were to lose, then the Black Dragon Mountain Empire would really lose face. They had consecutively been unable to make it into the top 10,000. And other middle-tier civilizations had people who made it into the top 10,000. They were obviously weaker. Haha! The emperor laughed brightly. The palace was filled with praises for Luo Feng. However, amongst the many princes, there was one prince whose eyes were filled with shock. It was the 9th Prince Brolin. Amongst the over 1,000 members of the royal family, Brolin seemed to be holding it in. However, within he was filled with waves of shock. This Luo Feng, he's actually him? Even though Luo Feng's name was huge before, as the elimination wasn't broadcasted, many of the geniuses and warriors' information were unknown to the outside world. Only a few powerful powers could investigate. For example, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire had sent a team of envoys. And the Ganwu Universe countries' large organizations had also sent people to visit Luo Feng. Because these powers had ways to use the Virtual Universe Company to investigate Luo Feng's location within the virtual universe. However, Brolin was a prince. He was forbidden from entering the Empire's information system. Hence, he really didn't know Luo Feng's true identity. Luo Feng, he's Luo Feng? Brolin gritted his teeth. Big trouble. Finding trouble with Luo Feng? He no longer had such thoughts. Because he was clear, with Luo Feng's name, he could easily join any of the super organizations that the Black Dragon Mountain Empire feared. He didn't want to mess with Luo Feng now. However, he was worried. Back when he sent people to use laser guns to kill 12 targets, and also sent people to chase and kill Luo Feng, would Luo Feng bear a grudge? Humph, I won't mess with him for now. I'm in the Empire, he doesn't have the power to mess with me. Brolin gritted his teeth. And in the palace, the Emperor was chatting with the 2 sector lords beside him. Buddha Osaka, how much confidence does this Luo Feng have? The Emperor couldn't help but ask softly. His confidence is relatively high. However, it's still rather dangerous. Beside, a long silver-haired bearded old man creased his eyebrows. Your Majesty should know that out of the 100,100 who passed the elimination, close to half of them are elites nurtured by the Empire. The Emperor nodded. The Ganwu Universe country leader had sent over 100 million elites to participate. There were a total of over 800 billion people in the elimination. This batch wasn't very conspicuous. However, of the people who passed, over 40,000 of them were sent by the Ganwu Universe country leader. From this, one could see the foundation of the Empire. Luo Feng's group, the first is Pushkin, second is Janelli, etc. Of the top 10, 6 are all nurtured by the Ganwu Universe country's imperial family. The old man shook his head. What I'm afraid of is that Luo Feng will be surrounded and attacked. Royal uncle, what do you think? The Emperor looked at the other sector lord beside him. Similarly dressed in a dark golden robe, the royal uncle smiled indifferently. Your Majesty, worrying now is useless. Also, we aren't clear on this Luo Feng's true strength. Just watch. It's about to begin. Watch. The Emperor could only nod. On island number 29109, the dojo was already filled with a sea of people. Daddy is the fifth. Mommy, are the first four stronger than Daddy? Ping Ping asked curiously. That's the ranking. Su Xian smiled. The first four are ranked higher than your daddy. Their strength is still unknown. Ping Ping nodded. On the side, Little C muttered, Daddy is the strongest, the strongest. Around him sat many from Earth, Hong, Thunder God and their families, Luo Feng's parents, etc. Third brother, you have to win. Hong stared at the distant center of the dojo. Thunder God too stared. Right now, of the three brothers of Earth, only Luo Feng was left in the genius battle. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The beautiful commentator shouted excitedly. The entire dojo's atmosphere immediately reached its peak. Rumble. The center of the dojo shook. The beautiful commentator immediately teleported and vanished. At the same time, 100 silhouettes appeared in different positions in the center of the dojo. They were the 100 geniuses that were introduced earlier. Some were tall and strong, some had fur on their bodies, some had horns, all of them had different looks. However, at the same time, they were all upright humans. Pushkin. Kun. Luo Feng. Almost like the earth-shattering cheers came from the 1 billion spectators. The sound seemed to shatter the entire dojo. Within the dojo, including Luo Feng, the 100 geniuses couldn't help but feel excited when they heard the 1 billion cheers. Looking around, there was no end in sight. It was all filled with people from different starfields, and Luo Feng could discern who was shouting for him from the cheers. He swiftly determined the direction. Over there, it's the Black Dragon Mountain Empire people. Luo Feng glanced in that direction. That region was indeed filled with people. Silence. The dojo's battle space was silent. The 100 geniuses were all focused. This chaotic battle would last a maximum of 15 minutes. As the battle space would constantly shrink, after 15 minutes, it would shrink to a diameter of 1 m. Battle begin. A low voice immediately resounded in the minds of the 1 billion spectators in the dojo and the 100 geniuses in the dojo. P.S. First chapter has arrived. To make up for yesterday, today's goal was 5 chapters. Chapter 412. Pushkin! Pushkin! The spectators in the dojo excitedly shouted out names one after another, of which Pushkin was the majority. In the spectator stands there was a group of strong ape-men, all of them madly roaring loudly. The ape-man's voice was rough, with over 1 million of them waving their fists and roaring. It was simply like the roar of a god. In comparison, the over 1 million people from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire were obviously suppressed. Rumble, 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 rumble. The dojo was filled with all sorts of energy that exploded fiercely. Out of these 100 geniuses, 48 belonged to the Ganwu Universe country's imperial family. However, out of these 100, only 10 would survive. It was destined that they would have to fight amongst themselves. However, this group after all knew each other, especially the strongest Pushkin and Janelli. They naturally helped each other. Ao Faitiosi Kazan, the two of you go kill that black-haired punk. Janelli's surroundings revolved with black energy as he communicated through genetic energy. Simultaneously, he pulled out 2 narrow long blade. Understood. Small matter, leave it to us. Ao Faitiosi and Kazan immediately rushed towards Luo Feng. At this time, the geniuses within the dojo had already begun to fight amongst themselves. Xiao. A bolt of lightning shot towards Ao Faitiosi. Bastard. Ao Faitiosi and Kazan could only stop and first deal with this punk who provoked them. Dressed in his genetic energy armor, Pushkin was tall and sturdy like a war god. His two fists that were even bigger than hammers were covered in malevolent glove. One could only see yellow energy revolving around him. With a step, he rushed into the crowd of geniuses, his huge iron fists smashing towards a weak and frail genius. Pung! One fist smashed the opponent's blade away, the second fist smashing straight into the opponent's head. Death! Like a war god, Pushkin waved his fists, punch after punch. Not only were they as heavy as a mountain, his fist techniques were also extremely peculiar. Sometimes his fists would turn into claws, fingers, and the moment he got close, it was simply a nightmare. Pushkin, in the blink of an eye, he had already killed two geniuses, causing the other geniuses to retreat far away. However, Pushkin's movements were extremely fast. Every step he took covered a large distance. At this time, it wasn't just Pushkin, even Janelli and the others were making their moves. In the distance, Luo Feng, who was standing on the soaring shuttle, carried a thick, dark golden long rod on his back. Among the group of geniuses, he was considered small and skinny, but he had a terrifying killing intent. Luo Feng's eyes were cold and filled with killing intent. Right now there are many powerful fighters, I don't have time to waste, let's end everything quickly. Kill them all. Kill. One of the youths, whose body was surrounded by green energy, wielded a shield and an axe as he charged towards Luo Feng, who was closest to him. Courting death. Floating in mid-air, the dark golden long rod on Luo Feng's back suddenly shot out a beam of golden light. The moment it flew out, large amounts of complicated golden threads intertwined, infused with peculiar law ripples. A misty golden blade immediately formed. Golden energy waves revolved around Luo Feng's surroundings. One of them wrapped around the golden blade and immediately shot out. Illusionary blade form. Luo Feng's consciousness controlled it with all his might, using all his strength to unleash the full power of this blade. This was the first time he had fought in the arena. Luo Feng had already used his full power. Rumble! A golden ray of light instantly collided with the shield that the young man hastily used to block. With a loud bang, the bones in the young man's arm were directly shattered. How? The young man's eyes were filled with shock, but the golden ray of light only changed direction slightly and directly shot through his head. Chi! The golden rainbow pierced through this genius head. The terrifying force it carried didn't diminish at all. Following the momentum, it rushed towards another genius behind. What? That beautiful and bewitching purple-haired lady was caught off guard, immediately controlling her spirit weapon to block. Dang! Chi! The golden ray of light was peerlessly ferocious, and it easily smashed away the weapon that flew over hastily before slashing through the violet-haired young woman's head. At this time, the golden rainbow curved and flew back to Luo Feng's side. This golden rainbow was actually a misty and illusory golden blade. My God! That strong! The surrounding geniuses all felt their hearts skip a beat, their expressions changed greatly. One move to kill two geniuses consecutively. One had to know that those who could pass the elimination were all geniuses favored by the heavens. Every one of them were absolute geniuses of the same level and level. They were definitely not cannon fodder to be casually slaughtered. Even Pushkin had to use all his strength to kill one. Only after killing one would he move on to kill the second. And now this black-haired youth before them, a golden light shot out and instantly killed two. It was incomparably tyrannical. He's that strong? Origin laws. He's definitely comprehended the origin laws. Janelli, that bastard. He even let the two of us kill him. How could we possibly kill him? And Ao Fei Xiuxi and Kazan, who were originally flying towards Luo Feng, due to being attacked by the other geniuses, had just finished off their opponents and were about to rush towards Luo Feng, when they saw Luo Feng release a golden light and kill the two geniuses. The two of them immediately stopped. Let's go. The two turned and left. Who would dare provoke Luo Feng again? Obviously, this black-haired youth was a warrior who had stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. His strength was probably even more sick than Pushkin. Just the two of them. Luo Feng had just killed the two. His cold gaze swept across, discovering the two closest to him, Ao Fei Xiu Si and Kazan. He immediately stepped on the soaring shuttle and swiftly shot over. As a warrior who had stepped through the gateway of the origin laws, the speed of his soaring shuttle was obviously shockingly fast. He's here. Ao Fei Xiu Si and Kazan's expressions changed greatly. A resplendent golden rainbow shot straight over. Kazan, who was flying further back, gritted his teeth and waved the huge axe in his hand. Quang! Kazan only felt an incredibly shocking force pass through the huge axe. His right arm immediately twisted and fractured. Simultaneously his right hand was numb and he couldn't even hold the huge axe. The golden sword ray pierced through Kazan's head in a single shot, and then continued to chase after Ophixius, who was trying to escape. The golden rainbow was too fast. Ao Fei Xiu Si couldn't even get far. It's over. Ao Fei Xiu Si's eyes revealed a look of fear and unwillingness, after which he stared hatefully at the distant shocked Janelli, communicating angrily, "Janelli?" Chi. Infused with some gold origin laws, the golden rainbow was extremely strong and sharp. Even though Ao Fei Xiu Si's ranking in the elimination was extremely high, he was still killed. The spectators in the dojo were silent. Pushkin's rage was within expectations. After all, he was the highest in this group. However, the 1 billion spectators from the other starfields didn't expect Luo Feng, who was ranked 5th in the elimination, to be so intrepid. Even more intrepid than the war god Pushkin. Luo Feng. Luo Feng. The over 1 million spectators from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire stared wide-eyed. Many of them had expressions of excitement as they roared, their eyes filled with madness. "Daddy! Daddy!" Little Hai and Ping Ping both stood up, standing on their chairs and roaring with all their might. Third brother. Hong and Thunder God both stood up. "Big brother is so powerful." Luo Hua couldn't help but exclaim softly. "My brother-in-law." Su Gang's eyes stared wide and round. Beside him Su Xian's expression was filled with excitement, her eyes staring unblinkingly at the center of the dojo. And around them, the over 1 million people from the Black Dragon Mountain starfield had all gone crazy. This was an unexpected surprise that Luo Feng had brought to the countless people of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. All of them were shouting that Luo Feng would definitely win, how powerful he was. However, deep within, they didn't have much confidence, because the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's results had always been bad. They themselves didn't have much confidence. However, now they had the right to roar. They had the right to proudly roar. Luo Feng! Luo Feng! They were all madly roaring, agitated and excited, their roars shaking the skies. Within the luxurious palace on the Black Dragon Mountain Island, the imperial family of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire was staring intently at the screen. When they saw Luo Feng's rage, the first time he killed 2 geniuses in an instant, following which he chased and killed another 2 geniuses. The other geniuses were so shocked that they avoided him, not daring to get close. The entire palace erupted. The emperor fiercely slapped his throne, roaring, "Good! Congratulations, Your Majesty! Congratulations, Your Majesty!" Immediately someone below stood up and shouted, "Father, this Luo Feng is obviously the strongest. After this battle, who would dare say our Black Dragon Mountain Empire is weak?" The third prince was the first to stand up, shouting proudly, "Nanshan armament." The silver-haired old man Bu de Osaka said, "Right, it's the Nanshan armament." The royal uncle beside nodded. "Nanshan armament?" The emperor was shocked. The controller of one of the 9 godly weapons, the Nanshan armament? At first, I thought that the dark golden staff was a staff weapon for close-range combat. The silver-haired old man Bu de Osaka said, "What Luo Feng displayed earlier was the Nanshan armament's first level, the illusion blade form. Seeing him display it, it's obvious he's already grasped the first level. To be able to unleash the first level at the star level, he's definitely invincible within the same level of star level." Even within the entire Ganwu universe country, those of the same level that can defeat Luo Feng are few and far between. Right, to unleash the first level, one has to have some comprehension of the gold origin laws. The royal uncle beside nodded, which means, Luo Feng is a genius that has stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. And according to the estimates of this genius battle, within the Ganwu universe country, there are about a few hundred geniuses that have stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. And the arena battles are split into 1,000 groups. On average, for one person to comprehend the origin laws in each group, that's already incredible. Unless there's an absolute warrior like Luo Feng, who didn't unleash his full power during the elimination. Just like the group that Hong participated in last time. That female warrior was clearly at the threshold of the origin laws, but her ranking in the preliminaries was only in the dozens, which is why there were 2 law adepts in that group, the royal uncle said solemnly. Indeed. Back during the elimination of the 100 worlds, every world had a few who had comprehended the origin laws. Like Luo Feng and Windmill, they were both holed up in their own cities. If the 2 of them were to roam other cities and hunt the absolute warriors of other cities. With Luo Feng and Windmill's strength, the 2 had the right to make it into the top 10 of their respective world. The moment they made it into the top 10. According to the groups, Luo Feng and Pushkin couldn't possibly be in the same group. Within the dojo, Janelli's ears still resounded with Ao Fei Xiushir's roar before his death. Janelli? And Janelli had no time to think about Ao Fei Xiushir's death. His eyes were only on the distant Luo Feng. Within he was filled with shock and rage. This insolent punk. He actually, and Luo Feng, who had just killed the 2, turned and his cold gaze landed on Janelli. Chapter 413. As there were no other geniuses around, all of them were completely stunned by Luo Feng's tyranny and strength. They all fled far away. This left Luo Feng with no choice but to search for his own prey. His gaze swept and immediately spotted the distant cold gold-clothed youth Janelli. He too was looking over. Sit further away. The scene of Janelli coldly berating him in the preparation room, Luo Feng immediately recalled. Since that was the case, his next prey, he would kill him. Kill! Luo Feng's eyes were filled with killing intent. So, he stepped on the soaring shuttle and became a beam of light, shooting straight at Janelli. Bastard, why did I randomly meet someone so powerful? Janelli gritted his teeth, hating within. However, as an elite nurtured by the Ganwu universe country's royal family, he was very clear on how terrifying an opponent of the same level who had stepped into the origin laws was. Hence Janelli gritted his teeth and turned to flee. Pushkin. Like a war god, Pushkin, who was slaughtering his way through, frowned. That black-haired punk wants to kill me. Janelli communicated, help me block him. You really know how to cause trouble. Pushkin's deep voice resounded in Janelli's ears. According to the rankings of this group, Pushkin was number 1, Janelli was number 2. Plus they were from the same organization, hence Janelli had long since roped in Pushkin and discussed with him, the 2 of them working together to easily pass the arena battles. Originally, with the first and second place helping each other, it was already a foregone conclusion that they would be able to pass this group battle. However, Janelli had provoked Luo Feng. If he hadn't provoked him before, even though Luo Feng was strong, he wouldn't have gone to deal with the first and second. After all, there were only 10 slots for the arena battles, there was no need to fight. However now, rumble. Pushkin took a step and arrived before Janelli, his huge green eyes staring at Luo Feng, communicating, Janelli is wrong, however you don't have to fight with us. You can spare Janelli and we'll pass the arena battles together. Luo Feng stood on the soaring shuttle and looked at the giant before him. Pushkin, who was comparable to a 2-story building, stood before Luo Feng like a building, and Luo Feng himself was a tiny speck. Pushkin. Luo Feng stared coldly at his opponent and communicated, move. However, Pushkin's eyes revealed a look of rage, as though he was about to say something. Humph! Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Boom! The golden illusory blade shot over, causing Pushkin's expression to change. With a roar, he swung his right fist that was enveloped in yellow energy. His right fist was like pushing a mountain. It seemed slow, but it actually blocked Luo Feng's golden illusory blade. A deafening rumble was heard. Pushkin retreated over 10 meters before gritting his teeth and staring at Luo Feng. Luo Feng's heart moved. This Pushkin's information said he hadn't stepped into the gateway of the origin laws. Looking at it now, he indeed hasn't comprehended them. But he, who is only at the 9th level of domain, is actually able to display such a powerful combat strength. If they were both at the 6th level of the domain realm, Hong could even kill a 7th level domain realm opponent. In addition to origin power, realm, and laws, there were also factors such as willpower, mentality, and experience. If a person didn't have the will to fight and didn't have the heart to resist, he wouldn't be able to display even half of his strength. And if his will to fight was high and he was extremely excited, his willpower was strong, he would be able to exceed his usual level. And Pushkin, with his domain level 9, to be able to reach the 9th level in the 89th world, his combat strength was indeed shocking. However, there was a huge difference between someone who hadn't stepped into the gateway of the origin laws and someone who had. Pushkin, you aren't my match. Move aside, otherwise you won't even be able to pass the arena group battle. Luo Feng stood on the soaring shuttle, staring coldly at Pushkin and communicating. To kill Pushkin, it would probably take some time. The longer it took, the more people would die. The moment there were only 10 left, the group battle would end. It was very likely that Janelli would escape with his life. Ah! Pushkin gripped his fists tightly. His huge green eyes stared hard at Luo Feng. Gritting his teeth, he fiercely rushed towards the distant battle royale geniuses. Pushkin! Janelli, who was hiding behind him, shouted anxiously through voice transmission. Ah ah ah! Pushkin roared, madly waving his heavy fists and chasing after the geniuses. Humph! Luo Feng looked at Janelli. Everything was within his expectations. In this group of 100, he was the only one who had stepped into the gateway of the origin laws. And he was using the Nanshin armament. Just that one move earlier, Luo Feng could tell that Pushkin was already injured. If he continued to fight, Pushkin would definitely die. Luo Feng didn't want to waste time on Pushkin. Pushkin didn't want him to die for Janelli either. Hence he chose to avoid the battle. That was very normal. Bastard! Janelli cursed within, fleeing. Fleeing! Luo Feng stood on the soaring shuttle and swiftly chased. That fast. Janelli's expression changed greatly. After comprehending some of the origin laws, whether it was offense, defense, flight or movement, they all had huge improvement. In the blink of an eye, Luo Feng caught up to Janelli. Bastard! Janelli turned and gritted his teeth as he roared. Black energy revolved around his body. Wielding 2 long blades, his expression was fierce. Go and die. Who? With a step, space seemed to warp and Janelli immediately rushed before Luo Feng. Light domain. Luo Feng snorted coldly and immediately retreated. Illusion blade form. Luo Feng's gaze was cold. Even though they had all stepped through the gateway of the origin laws, Luo Feng was still stronger than the others. That was because he had completely unleashed his comprehension of the origin laws through the Nanshin armament. Rumble! The golden rainbow light was like a golden laser that immediately shot towards the attacking Janelli. Clang! Janelli's blades crossed and blocked simultaneously. Following the clash, Janelli's body trembled, and he felt something sweet in his throat. He couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of fresh blood, just like those absolute geniuses in the Ganwu secret area. Those who have comprehended the gold origin laws are indeed the craziest and most violent. He actually blocked it? Luo Feng's eyebrows creased. Rumble! The golden rainbow shot out a second time. I can't block it head-on, but I have no choice. It's too fast, I can't dodge in time. Janelli felt bitter within. He could only forcefully use his blades to block, however his arms were already weak. He had already been injured from that previous block. Pung! The two blades immediately flew out of his hand. The golden rainbow slightly turned and pierced through the pale-faced Janelli's head. His head exploded. Janelli dead. Eliminated. This scene made the distant Pushkin's golden fur-covered face twitch. Janelli can actually only block it once, dying the second time. And Ao Fei Xiu Si and the rest can't even block the first time. 2-2, I'm afraid I can only block 4 or 5 more times. This punk is too strong. Gold, extremely hard and powerful, incomparably sharp. In terms of a head-on clash, it was indeed the gold origin laws that were the most intrepid. The entire battle lasted for about 5 minutes. The number of survivors had finally dwindled to 10. The battle had ended. Madman, that punk is a madman. That black-haired punk, just who is he? The surviving geniuses all looked at Luo Feng with gazes filled with fear. However, most of them didn't know Luo Feng's name, because during the introduction of the dojo earlier, they were all in the preparation room and didn't see Luo Feng's image. Actually, Luo Feng didn't know the others' names either. Oh, accurately speaking, he only knew Pushkin and Janelli's names. They were very famous, and Luo Feng's reputation before was too small. The 382nd group's arena battles have ended, 90 of the dead have been eliminated, the remaining 10 have the right to fight for the 900 spots. A low voice resounded within the minds of everyone in the dojo. The other 9 surviving geniuses, including Pushkin, all looked at the dark golden long rod on his back and the black-haired youth filled with killing intent. If one were to say Hong's group's most intrepid was that savage, then the most intrepid in this group was undoubtedly madman Luo Feng. Luo Feng. Luo Feng. Luo Feng. The over 1 million spectators from the Black Dragon Mountain Star Field were the most excited, all of them using all their strength, roaring hysterically, their faces filled with excitement and madness, all of them roaring without a care for anything else. The ones with the most right to roar in the entire dojo were the people from the Black Dragon Mountain Star Field, their roars shaking the skies. He's Luo Feng? While being transported out, the other 9 surviving geniuses were all guessing. Boiling. The Black Dragon Mountain Empire Palace was boiling. The entire Black Dragon Mountain Island's trillions of citizens were boiling. The entire star field's 8,000 over galaxies, countless people watching the broadcast, were boiling too. Too violent, too violent. Luo Feng is too intrepid. Awesome, awesome. Strong. He's a genius from our Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, yes, from our Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. Countless people from the Empire were extremely excited. In the past hundreds of thousands of years and millions of years, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire had indeed made it into the top 10,000 many times. It was something to be proud of. However, the ones that made it into the top 10,000 were basically just barely. It's been a very, very long time since the Black Dragon Mountain Empire had such a domineering warrior appear in such a pinnacle battlefield. Yes, domineering. Barbaric. In the arena battles, I'm number 1. Whoever I want to kill will die for sure. A massacre all the way. Even that war god like Pushkin had to lower his head and dodge. In the arena, Luo Feng was the king. The emperor. Everyone else had to lower their heads. Too awesome. Luo Feng's strength is simply too intrepid. He's practically sweeping through everyone, unstoppable. Those with weaker strength, he can simply finish them off in one move. I heard Luo Feng uses the Nanshin armament. You don't know what that is? That's one of the 9 godly weapons of the Spirit Reader controller. After the group battles, it'll be 1v1 battles with Luo Feng's strength. He can definitely snatch one of the 900 slots. Luo Feng can definitely represent the Ganwu universe country and spar with the other absolute geniuses from the other universe countries. Haha, Luo Feng is from our Black Dragon Mountain Empire. It was crazy. There were many reports about Luo Feng, and many organizations that supported him swiftly formed. In many virtual games, names like Luo Feng, I Love You, Luo Feng's Master, Luo Feng's Wife, I'm Luo Feng's Senior Brother, and Luo Feng's Body could be seen everywhere. In this battle, Luo Feng's strength had conquered trillions of people. Chapter 4:14. Black Dragon Mountain Island, within the luxurious palace. His future is limitless. The silver-haired old man exclaimed, This Luo Feng's future, it's hard to predict. The royal uncle nodded. Is there no way to recruit him into the sacred land? The emperor sitting in the middle asked softly. The two sector lords beside him shook their heads, of which the silver-haired old man Buddha Asaka explained, Your Majesty, a star level stepping through the gateway of the origin laws, such an absolute genius won't be able to enter our Black Dragon Mountain sacred land. The emperor was stunned. Different from the Ganwu universe country's leader, ever since the universe country was created over 1 trillion years ago, it had always been one person. This Black Dragon Mountain Empire's emperor would change after a certain period of time. Hence, this emperor had many secrets that he didn't understand. Don't tell me your majesty hasn't seen, within the entire universe country, there's only one Ganwu dojo, forbidding any other powers from opening dojos and such? The silver-haired old man asked. The Ganwu universe country indeed places great importance on absorbing the lowest level talent. The emperor nodded. Indeed, a genius like Luo Feng, even if we discover him, he'll eventually fall into the hands of the Ganwu universe country. The silver-haired old man shook his head, and we don't dare have any complaints. Of course, no matter what, this Luo Feng is from our Black Dragon Mountain starfield. If he has any accomplishments in the future, it'll be beneficial to our Black Dragon Mountain starfield too. Such a genius, it's better to be on good terms with him. After 10,000 to 100,000 years, who knows what Luo Feng's accomplishments will be like? The silver-haired old man emphasized. I understand. The emperor nodded. With such talent, as long as he doesn't fall along the way, becoming a sector lord was a given. And this sort of star-level stepping through the gateway of the origin laws, becoming a sector lord, would be an extremely powerful being amongst the sector lords. The moment he breaks through to undying, that would truly be heaven-defying. Undying beings. The entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire currently had two. One was the God Lord of the Black Dragon Mountain Sacred Land, the other was the God Lord of the Icy God Country. Hence the Black Dragon Mountain Empire didn't dare offend the undying beings. Within a vast God Country, continuous mountain ranges, volcanoes were scattered all over the continent. Occasionally they would erupt. The entire God Country was dyed dark red. The smell of sulfur permeated the entire God Country. On a mountain peak that reached the clouds, an ancient palace was constructed. The entire palace walls were filled with complex carvings. Inside the palace hall, a red-eyed man dressed in a dark red robe was sitting on the throne. Black flames were faintly burning around his body. His eyes seemed to be looking at them from another dimension, causing one's heart to palpitate. There were 4 thrones on each side of the throne. Currently, there were 3 people sitting below, and all of them faintly exuded fluctuations that caused the heavens and earth to tremble. It was as if they could tear the heavens and earth apart with just a lift of their hands. God Leader, this punk called Luo Feng is only a star level and has already comprehended some of the origin laws. He's most suitable to be my disciple. An expert shrouded in golden battle armor was emanating a faint, heart-palpitating aura. This was the aura of the laws of metal. Compared to Luo Feng, he was trillions of times stronger. Walter, my brother. The red-eyed man's deep and hoarse voice rang out. I know that you are in urgent need of a disciple. However, we can't compete with the Ganwu Universe country. Walter. The other two also looked at the golden-armored man. My lifespan is reaching its end, the golden-armored man said indifferently. And even though the current disciples have decent talents, to inherit my techniques is extremely difficult. My death can't be changed, and I just want to find a successor. Before I die, I want to see the secret art I've created for hundreds of millions of years once again appear. I can also close my eyes and die peacefully. This is my greatest hope now. The others were silent. Undying was indeed an eternal being. However, that didn't mean an undying wouldn't die. Just like the UNMO Planet Master, and many other great undyings throughout history, they all fell. The life force of an undying was extremely strong. Even if the body and soul were to crumble into powder, they could still reform. However, some injuries couldn't be healed. Just like the UNMO Planet Master, he could only watch as he died. Walter, my brother, I will do my best to help you find an exceptional disciple, the red-eyed man emphasized. As for that punk Luo Feng, as long as he's not stupid, he'll definitely choose the Ganwu Universe Country, or even the even stronger Virtual Universe Company. All these years it's always been like this. Absolute geniuses also need the best external conditions and the best teachings. Only then can they have the most glorious achievement. In terms of strength and environment, we indeed can't compare with the Ganwu Universe Country. The gold-armored man didn't make a sound. Over a few 100 million years, the proudest thing was the techniques he created. When he was alive, he treated them like treasures, definitely not spreading them. Even to his disciples, he only taught them a little. However, when he knew he would definitely die, his way of thinking was completely different. He really wanted to see a disciple master it before he died. If it really didn't work, he could only leave the techniques to his friends and brothers, letting them teach the disciples on his behalf. Just like how the UNMO Planet Master let Babata teach on his behalf. God Leader. The gold-armored man stood up. Walter. The red-eyed man stood up too, the other two followed. I'm tired, I want to return home. The gold-armored man sighed. Before I die, I want to take a good look at my home. After which, he turned and flew out of the palace. As an undying, his close relatives had long disappeared in the river of time. After all, even a sector lord could at most live for 10 million years. The other three were silent. Walter, I'll help you find your disciple. The red-eyed man's voice transmitted into the gold-armored man's mind 1,000,000 km away. Within the palace, the three looked at each other. It's fake, we've been tricked. Kun Shallow, that bastard, I'll definitely find him for revenge. Walter's death is because of him. He actually dared to sell me a fake secret region map? The red-eyed man roared with rage, the surrounding space trembled. Kun Shallow is an underling of the Ganwu country leader. It'll be hard for us to find a chance. Wait. Even if we wait 100 million years, 1 billion years, 10 billion years. As long as there's a chance. Menghua will definitely personally kill him. He dared to use a fake secret region map to steal my treasures and money, and even the life of one of my brothers. I'll definitely kill him. If he has the ability, he'll hide under the protection of the Ganwu country leader for the rest of his life. The red-eyed man roared with rage. Black flames rushed into the sky, burning the entire palace into nothingness. His roar resounded within this vast god country of a 1,000,000,000,000-kilometer Black Dragon Mountain Island. One battle to fame, Luo Feng had really become famous in one battle. This battle didn't just shake the entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire, it even shook the entire Ganwu Universe Country. Daddy, your looks are known by the entire Black Dragon Mountain Island. The moment you go out, you'll be recognized very quickly. Little Hai clapped his hands and jumped around, obviously very proud. I'll have to disguise myself when I go out. Luo Feng rubbed his son's head. It's really weird. Beside, Su Xian stood up and poured tea for Luo Feng, smiling. After the elimination last time, many organizations sent people over. This time, after the arena battles ended, Luo Feng, your performance was so eye-catching. I thought there would be even more super organizations and powers coming over. However, up till now, not a single one has come. It's weird. Luo Feng nodded. Suddenly, haha, Luo Feng. A clear voice resounded. Ah, I was just saying no one came to visit, and suddenly someone came. Su Xian looked over, saying softly, "It's the people from the Three Axe Mountain organization." Luo Feng looked, it was true. In the distance, 3 people walked over. In the middle was a white-haired old man smiling kindly, on the left was a dark red armored man, and on the right was the tall and sturdy Mingyu. With his vision trained from the Ganwu auction, that dark red armored man was definitely a sector lord. And that man's forehead had a lightning mark. Obviously he was a sector lord warrior recognized by the Thunder Origin laws, and definitely belonged to the pinnacle of sector lords. As for that kind old man, Luo Feng couldn't tell, but this old man walking in the middle, his position was probably the highest. Lord Mingyu. Luo Feng stood up. Haha, I'm not considered a lord. Luo Feng, let me introduce you. Mingyu smiled and pointed at the dark red armored man. This is our Three Axe Mountains General Jiang Tianchun, amongst the many sector lords of our Black Dragon Mountain starfield. He's definitely one of the top. Greetings, General. Luo Feng said respectfully. Jiang Tianchun nodded. This. Mingyu introduced the white-haired old man, his voice slightly changing. This is one of the 3 founders of our Three Axe Mountain, Lord Head General. Lord Head General. Luo Feng bowed. Within his heart, huge waves were raging. Head General? 3 founders of the Three Axe Mountain, 2 of them were undying, the last one had disappeared long ago. Which one was this one before him? The old man nodded. Where's Hong? Mingyu said, the head general wishes to meet him. Alright, I'll look for him. Luo Feng nodded. Luo Feng, Thunder God, Mingyu and Jiang Tianchun stood outside. Within the room was only the head general and Hong. 30. Why is the head general looking for Big Brother? Thunder God asked. I don't know. Luo Feng shook his head. It's a good thing. Mingyu smiled beside. I hope he doesn't disappoint the head general. Beside, the sector lord Jiang Tianchun said coldly. Within the room, there was only Hong and head general Luo. What? Hong looked shocked at the white-haired old man before him. Head general, you, this legendary being. He hadn't even spoken a few words, and he had already given Hong a shock. Your talent is not bad, your personality is similar to mine back then. As for teaching you, even though I haven't become an undying, my comprehension of the light origin laws is enough to be your teacher. The old man shook his head. However, there's one thing I have to tell you beforehand, my lifespan isn't long, I only have over 20,000 years left. P.S. Chapter 4 has arrived, writing it's already very taxing. Work hard, continue to work hard. Work hard. Chapter 5. Chapter 4:15. Only 20,000 years left to live? Hong was shocked. A sector lord's lifespan was extremely long, reaching up to 10 million years. This legendary general before him was already close to the end of his lifespan. Sigh. The old man shook his head, sighing, his voice filled with endless bitterness. Hong, speaking of which, you and I are quite fated. Your name is Hong, my name is Luo, it's both the same word. You have your own comprehension at the Star Traveler level, so do I. I don't fear death, I yearn for the path of the strongest, wanting to climb to the pinnacle of life. Even battling in the Battleaxe Coliseum, I've fought 1,000 battles, earning the Domain Lord level Battleaxe Warrior title. The old man exclaimed, after which, I've formed the Three Axe Mountain organization with my best friends, 2 others who have also earned the Domain Lord level Battleaxe Warrior title, Mo Leia and Lermonto. Back then, I was the leader. The 2 of them supported me. After which they became undying. I've always been a sector lord. Ambition. If my plan succeeds, the moment I become an undying, I'll be an absolute warrior amongst the undyings. The old man's eyes gleamed, his eyes filled with intense desire. For example, joining the Ganwu Universe country, I can immediately become the pinnacle of undyings under the country leader. Ganwu Universe country leader's undyings? Hong was shocked. Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, how many undyings are there? The old man asked. 2. Hong said. The master of the Ice Ocean God country, the master of the sacred land Black Dragon Mountain, they were all undyings. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God all knew. How many starfields does the Ganwu Universe country have? The old man asked. Over 13,000. Hong was shocked. If every starfield had 2 undyings, adding them all up, it would be too shocking. Ha ha! The old man laughed. The undyings under the Ganwu Universe country leader exceed 10,000. And even more, belonging to the Virtual Universe Company, Battleaxe Coliseum, Universe First Bank, Universe Galaxy Bank and Universe Mercenary Alliance, these 5 Leviathans. Over 10,000? Hong held his breath. Don't be shocked, look at how vast the universe country is. The old man exclaimed, it may seem like a lot, but it's after all countless years of accumulation. In terms of probability, the probability of an undying being born from a sector lord is simply too low. The lifespan of a realm lord was over 10 million years. There were millions of world boundary lords in the Ganwu universe, and they would change every 10 million years. After countless years of accumulation, there was only that little undying. I've gotten over it. One has to have one's feet firmly planted on the ground, one can't have too much ambition. The old man sighed and shook his head. For a sector lord to become an undying is already incomparably difficult. If I waste millions of years, wouldn't that be courting death? When I thought it through, who would have thought that fate would play a trick on me? Let's not talk about anything else. The old man looked at Hong and said with a smile, I've roughly told you everything about me. I can teach you the laws of light and time. I'll do my best to help you. The old man looked at Hong. I don't dare say anything else. Just amongst the millions of sector lords in the Ganwu Universe country, even though I don't dare say I'm number 1, but top 3 is definitely not a problem. Against an undying, I have confidence in escaping. Hong looked at the old man in shock. Luo was a legend in the Ganwu Universe country, even the undying had to give him face. If you are willing to take me as your master, you must be prepared to wander with me. The old man said seriously, I've just escaped and only have 20,000 years left to live. Before I die, I want to see many places. If you take me as your master and become my disciple, naturally you'll have to follow me. At the same time, I won't just give up on training. The last 20,000 years, I'll still give it my all to see if I can break through the shackles of fate and become an undying before my time comes. The old man looked at Hong. That's why I can go into closed-door training at any time and won't be able to take care of you. When that time comes, I'll arrange a guard for you. The moment you take me as your master, you must be mentally prepared. Hong frowned. Wander? 20,000 years? Right. The old man nodded. There's no rush to answer now. Think about it carefully. I'll give you 10 days to think about it. Give me an answer after 10 days. The old man finished and immediately walked out. To become an absolute warrior, they all pursued the pinnacle of life. On this path, they would all create their own ultimate techniques. These techniques were the result of their blood, sweat, and tears. Especially before death, these super powerhouses were unwilling to let the secret techniques they had painstakingly created for countless years be lost. Finding an exceptional disciple, this was the thought of many who were about to die. 9-Star Bay District. Luo Feng and Thunder God watched as the old man, Jiang Tianchen, and Ming Yu left. Big brother, Thunder God asked, what did that general find you for? Luo Feng looked at Hong too. He wants to take me as a disciple. Hong smiled. Speaking of which, I'm considered a grandmaster on Earth. Now that he's taken me as a disciple, I have to say, the strong warriors of the universe are indeed much stronger than us in many areas. He has the qualifications to be our teacher. I was even prepared to take him as my master earlier." "You didn't succeed?" Luo Feng was shocked. Hong nodded. "If I were to take him as my master, I'd have to wander with him, leave Earth, leave the Black Dragon Mountain star field, and wander the universe for 20,000 years. 20,000 years! Thunder God stared wide-eyed. I'm hesitating, whether or not I should take him as my master. Hong creased his eyebrows. Actually wandering the universe with him, I can use the virtual universe network and my family to meet with you guys. However, leaving Earth for 20,000 years, I still feel 5,000 years of Chinese culture. Hong had to wander the universe for 20,000 years? To Hong, who wasn't even 100 years old, it was indeed a ridiculous number. Of course you have to take him as your master. The virtual assistant Babata on Luo Feng's shoulder extended his little hand and pointed at Hong. "You idiot, that's Luo, the founder of the Three Axe Mountain Organization. Luo, people call him the Time Sector Lord. Many Undyings are on good terms with him, treating him as an equal. Many Sector Lords are willing to listen to his pointers. He's a truly amazing person from the Black Dragon Mountain star field." Time Sector Lord? Luo Feng and Thunder God were shocked by this title. Time Sector Lord, what an awesome title! The virtual assistant Lord Wu on Thunder God's shoulder glanced at Babata. "Little brat only knows how to brag. That old man from before even dares to call himself the Time Sector Lord. You sick pervert that's been locked up for 10 million years, what do you know?" Babata pointed at Lord Wu. "Luo is a first-class being that has risen in these 10 million years. Back then you were locked up in that world within a world. You didn't know anything. What right do you have to speak? Just listen to this demon lord." "You little brat!" Lord Wu roared. "I've followed my master for 10 million years. I've lived longer than you." Babata pointed at Lord Wu and roared. Luo Feng and Thunder God rubbed their heads. My God! The moment these two living AIs met, they would fight. "I'll think about it carefully." Hong was silent. "Just listen to me, you can't go wrong," Babata persuaded. The Three Axe Mountain's legendary General Luo's arrival indeed made Hong ponder. The groups of arena battles were also progressing rapidly. Soon, after 5 days, all 1,000 groups of arena battles had ended. 90,000 people had been eliminated, leaving 10,000 people behind. These 10,000 had the right to fight for the final 900 slot. Once they got the slots, they could represent the Ganwu Universe country and compete with the other absolute geniuses from the other universe countries. The moment the arena battles had ended, the Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-Star Bay District welcomed 2 guests. "Luo Feng." A familiar voice resounded. Luo Feng turned to look. It was a white-haired old man. Buddha Osaka Sector Lord. This silver-haired old man was standing beside a white-haired man with purple pupils. This man had a vertical eye in between his eyebrows. He was casually looking at Luo Feng. A formless willpower pressured over. Luo Feng grit his teeth. This person's willpower was very strong. Not bad. The purple-eyed man nodded. "Luo Feng, let me introduce you. This is a great undying from the Ganwu Universe country, God Leader Kuan-Shalo." The silver-haired old man introduced. Luo Feng looked at this white-haired man with a demonic aura. He was extremely shocked within. After so many years, he had never met an undying before. Undying, such a noble being, maybe in front of the Ganwu Universe country, such a huge civilization, they would have to lower their heads. However, the other empires didn't dare mess with an undying. Eternal undying. An undying that created the heavens and earth actually came to meet him? "Greetings, God Leader." Luo Feng bowed respectfully. Kuan-Shalo nodded. Even though this Kuan-Shalo was a man, the feeling he gave Luo Feng was very peculiar. His aura was peculiar, almost like an incomparably gentle woman. Only the occasional cold glint of his vertical eye made one's heart palpitate. Luo Feng, I'm here to convey the country leader's orders, Kuan Shallow said indifferently. Luo Feng was shocked within. Ganwu country leader? Sending me here also represents the importance he places on you. Kuan Shallow continued slowly. In this genius battle, our Ganwu universe country will send out 1,000 of our strongest geniuses to compete against the geniuses from the other universe countries. There are a total of 1,008 universe countries. 1,008 universe countries. The number of geniuses representing the pinnacle of humanity will be a little over 1 million. And the virtual universe company will only take in the top 1,000 of the pinnacle. 1,008 universe countries will each send out 1,000 geniuses, but only the strongest 1,000 will be taken in. Kuan Shallow looked at Luo Feng, which means, on average, each universe country will only get close to one slot. Our Ganwu universe country will send out 1,000 people, and we might not even get one slot. Luo Feng nodded. Getting into the top 1,000 of the universe was extremely difficult. Even Babata didn't think Luo Feng had any hope. Over 1,000 huge universe countries, only taking in the top 1,000, this virtual universe company was really harsh in taking in talent. Indeed, as one of the pinnacle leviathans of humanity, the virtual universe company has the best conditions to nurture geniuses. Primal universe, many secret regions, all sorts of mysterious treasures, the best teachers. Kuan Shallow looked at Luo Feng. However, only the top 1,000 can receive the resources the virtual universe company spends on nurturing them. According to the country leader's orders, if you can make it into the top 1,000 of the universe, join the virtual universe company and become a core member, that's a good thing. Our Ganwu universe country will reward you greatly. If you fail, you'll have to join our Ganwu universe country. With your current talent, you have the right to enter our universe country's forbidden area, Ganwu secret area. Kuan Shallow said, within the Ganwu secret area, you too can receive the pinnacle of nurturing. Kuan Shallow glanced at Luo Feng. Little punk, the universe's top 1,000, I advise you not to hope for it. To be able to enter the universe country's forbidden area, the Ganwu secret area, is already the dream of countless people. After saying that, Kuan Shallow vanished. Luo Feng, congratulations, the silver-haired old man said. Right. Undyings, most of them have weird temperaments. Don't mind it too much. The silver-haired old man smiled. I won't mind. Luo Feng smiled. Would I mind? To be able to send an undying to inform you, it means that the Ganwu universe country leader values you geniuses. The silver-haired old man smiled. From what I know, your batch of geniuses participating in the genius battle, those who have received the notice and have the right to enter the Ganwu secret area, are those who have stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. Luo Feng nodded. Very quickly, the silver-haired old man left too. Luo Feng sat quietly in a chair outside his house, pondering. Two paths? One, to enter the Ganwu universe country's core. Another, to enter the virtual universe company's core. On Luo Feng's shoulder, Babata yawned, muttering, Don't think about it, the virtual universe company is a super leviathan, their resources are shockingly rich. To be able to be nurtured by them with countless precious resources, they are all absolute geniuses at the pinnacle of the universe, their natural talents are already good. And with countless precious resources spent on them, as long as they don't die during the nurturing process, their achievements will be shocking. Die? Luo Feng was shocked. Those are the absolute geniuses chosen from the 1,008 universe countries, they will die so easily. To nurture the most outstanding, isn't it normal to eliminate and die? Babata shook his head. No matter who, if they don't experience life and death situations, how can they evolve? And if they experience life and death situations, how can there be no deaths or injuries? Luo Feng couldn't help but nod. Don't think about it. They aren't on the same path as you. Babata shook his head. That Koan Shallow is right. The most realistic way is to enter the Ganwu secret area. This Ganwu universe country is considered a huge power in the universe, the Ganwu universe country leader. That's an absolute being that can shake the universe. Entering the Ganwu secret area with good nurturing, your future achievements will be very high too. Babata said, Your teacher suffered back then because he was a Lone Ranger. If your teacher had the Ganwu universe country leader behind him, that bastard wouldn't have dared to kill your teacher. The Ganwu universe country leader is much more powerful than my teacher? Luo Feng was shocked. What a joke. That's an invincible being that created a universe country and oversaw it for trillions of years. Babata said, Of course, compared to the absolute leviathans like the Virtual Universe Company, he still can't compare. It's said that the primal universe belongs to the Virtual Universe Company itself. If they want to send people in to study, they can send them in. Luo Feng blinked. That's why, Luo Feng, in this universe, there are always stronger warriors, geniuses, even more geniuses. There's always a higher mountain. Even if you enter the core of the Virtual Universe Company, the competition will be incomparably intense. Every 10,000 years there's a genius battle, every time it absorbs 1,000 absolute geniuses. You can calculate, how many absolute geniuses will the Virtual Universe Company have? Babata asked. Hence, even if you enter the Virtual Universe Company, the strong will be as common as the clouds. If your power isn't enough, you'll be stepped on. Of course, you won't be able to enter. Just relax in the Ganwu secret area. Babata said, The Ganwu secret area is already a holy land that countless people drool over. I've said so much, just to tell you, entering the Ganwu secret area, even if you're considered exceptional in the Ganwu secret area, don't be arrogant. Because in the Virtual Universe Company, there are millions more exceptional than you. Luo Feng blinked. He was shocked. This Babata, he was too shocked. 5 chapters completed. Chapter 4:16. He remembered that on the 9th, Tomato took a leave of absence. At that time, he owed everyone 6 chapters. At that time, Tomato said that he would make up for his debt within a week. Tomato had been working hard. In the end, it took him 8 days to complete it. February 10th to February 17th, 8 days. In these 8 days, including Saturday, he should have updated 14 chapters. According to the plan, he should have updated 20 chapters to make up for his debt. However, there was a day later than 11 o'clock, so he had to update 21 chapters. And the actual updated chapters were 21 chapters. Phew! It was pressure. Tomato did not dare to slack off due to the lack of chapters. He was sorry that he had spent 8 days to make up for his debt. It was one more day than what he had said previously. Yes, at the same time, he wanted to summon the monthly votes. Everyone, please check if you have the monthly vote. If you do, please support Tomato. It had been a long time. The monthly votes did not make it to the top 3. Sweat, everyone could vote by clicking on the recommended monthly votes to support the author button below. Please help me. Chapter 4:17. Sitting in the chair, Luo Feng poured himself a cup of tea. As the tea flowed into the cup, his mind was filled with many thoughts. Babata is right. My current strength is indeed far from the absolute geniuses. To make it into the universe's top 1,000, it's very difficult. My movement, spirit weapon control, battle experience, willpower, mental state may not be bad, but compared to the universe's absolute geniuses, it's still not the best. A few powerful warriors like my teacher, like Luo, when they reach the later stages, they all create their own technique. Of course, no matter what, I have to do it step by step. I have to first learn the techniques created by the predecessors, then slowly create my own. And right now, I'm just at the beginning. With a group of sheep, even if I become the strongest, I'll still be a slightly stronger sheep. And with a group of lions, even if I'm not the strongest, I'll still be a valiant lion. I have to enter the Virtual Universe Company's core. I'm weak. However, the main reason is that my training time is too short, the duration of this genius battle is very long, I still have time to improve. Luo Feng pondered, his eyebrows creased. The universe humanity's absolute leviathan, the Virtual Universe Company's core, every 10,000 years absorbed 1,000 absolute geniuses, accumulating over generations, resulting in millions of absolute geniuses. And after countless years of accumulation, the undyings there would far exceed the Ganwu Universe Country. That was the most dazzling pinnacle of power. If I want to fight, I'll fight the strongest group of geniuses. My training time is short. As time drags on, I'll catch up to them. Work hard. Work hard. Right now, my first goal is to first get one of the Ganwu Universe Country's 1,000 slot. Luo Feng made his decision, not saying much to Babata. Ever since he was young, Luo Feng had never admitted defeat. Even against the incomparably strong, seemingly invincible golden-horned beast back then, Luo Feng never lowered his head. If one said, his younger brother Luo Hua loved to battle in the universe financial market, time and time again, fighting and killing, stealing wealth, then Luo Feng loved to chase after the pinnacle of life, constantly breaking through himself, improving himself time and time again, defeating his opponents. There were difficulties, setbacks, competition, opponents, he wasn't afraid. The only thing he was afraid of was that there weren't any difficulties. When he really stood at the pinnacle with no opponents, he would be very lonely. Experts are lonely. Back on Earth, Luo Feng had a taste of that. He didn't like the feeling of loneliness. Let's go. Let's see how far Luo Feng, can go. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. That was a strong thirst for the path of the strong. The arena battles continued for a total of 5 days. After the battles, the 10,000 participants that passed were given a day of rest. During this day of rest, the organizer Virtual Universe Company would also inform every participant of the upcoming battles. China time, July 22, 2066. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island, 9-Star Bay District, Luo Feng's living room. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God and a dozen others gathered together. How are the duels decided? Brother-in-law, who are you going to fight in your first battle? 900 slots, 10,000 people fighting for it. How are they going to compete? A group of people began to discuss. Quiet. Luo Feng pointed ahead in mid-air. Immediately a large screen appeared above the dining table. On it was a list filled with words. This is the list of the 10,000 participants' arena battles. The words are too small. The whole family ran over to take a look. Zoom in. Luo Feng pointed at the corner of the screen. Immediately the list zoomed in. There was Luo Feng's name. Big brother, you're going to fight Sai Weilo first? After winning one, you'll fight the winner of the next group again? Luo Hua looked carefully. HM. Luo Feng nodded, looking at the surrounding group. There was his brother-in-law Su Gang and the others, Hong's son and daughter's family, Thunder God's daughter and of course Luo Feng's own family. With such a large group of people gathered, it was indeed bustling. This arena battles, the process is very simple. 1 against 1, the winner will continue to advance, the loser will be sent to the loser group. These 10,000 people will be paired in pairs, forming 5,000 pairs after the first battle. 5,000 victors will emerge. As for the 5,000 losers, they will be sent to the loser group. Those 5,000 victors will continue to pair up. After the second battle, there will be 2,500 victors left. Continue. After the third battle, there will be 1,250 victors left. After the fourth battle, there will be 625 victors left. After the fourth battle, the 625 victors will obtain 625 of the 900 slot. Luo Feng said. The rules were simple. Pair up, they would only need to go through the fourth battle. Then there would only be 625 left. I say, brother-in-law, these 900 slots, after taking out 625, wouldn't there still be 275 left? Su Gang asked suspiciously. Beside him Luo Hua laughed. Su Gang, didn't you notice what my big brother said before? The losers will be sent to the loser group. I estimate these 275 slots will belong to the loser group. Beside, Thunder God laughed. Right, Luo Hua is smart. You have to know, these pairs of pairs will determine the winner very quickly. However, there's a huge loophole, that is, there's a high possibility of two absolute warriors battling. One of them has to be eliminated, this way it's easy to miss out on geniuses. Luo Feng nodded, hence there's the loser group. 10,000 people, of which 625 are the victors, then the loser group will have 9,375 people. These 9,375 people will go through a cruel and long losers round of battles, picking out the final 275 slots. Luo Feng said. Cruel and long losers round of battles? How cruel! Long? How long will it take? The group looked at Luo Feng. The losers round of battles refers to the 9,375 people in the loser group. Every one of them will have to fight the other 9,374 people one-on-one. Which means, the 9,375 people in the loser group, every one of them will have to fight 9,374 battles. If they win, they get 1 point, if they lose, or if they both die, they get 0 points. Finally, they'll be ranked according to their points. The top 275 will get the final 275 slots. Luo Feng said. My God? Su Gang stared wide-eyed. Wow. Little Hai exclaimed. 9,374 battles? How long will that take? Right, how long will it take? These 9,000 battles, it'll definitely take a very, very long time. The group exclaimed, one must know that during the life and death battles, if one were to continuously fight, one's entire body's energy and spirit would be exhausted, one's strength would begin to drop. Hence, even though each life and death battle took up a short amount of time, one couldn't possibly have too many battles a day. The Virtual Universe Company has announced that the losers' round of battles, everyone will have to fight 10 battles a day. It'll probably last close to 3 years. Luo Feng said, the entire genius battle, the Ganwu Universe Country's selection battles, the one that takes the longest is the losers' round of battles. Close to 3 years? That's long enough. The arena battles were very fast, every battle would eliminate half the people, one only needed to win 4 battles and they would get the slots. 9-Star Bay, Luo Feng's villa balcony, late at night. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God sat at a round table. Third brother, your situation isn't good. Hong emphasized. Of these 10,000 participants, there are only 521 who have stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. After the 4 arena battles, only 625 will be chosen. According to logic, these 521 should all get the slots. Thunder God muttered, however, this Virtual Universe Company, how do they divide them? They actually let the origin laws geniuses meet? Right. Even though according to the recordings of the arena battles, there were only 521 who had stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. If the Virtual Universe Company distributed it well, they could let these 521 people not meet, they would all get a slot. However, the Virtual Universe Company didn't do that. Most of the Origin Laws warriors didn't need to meet other Origin Laws warriors after the 4 battles, however, there was still a small portion of close to 100 who would meet each other. Like Luo Feng himself. According to the distribution, Luo Feng had confidence in the first, second and third battles. However, the 4th battle, according to the list, Luo Feng could deduce that as long as that origin law genius didn't fall midway, then his opponent in the 4th battle would be someone else who had stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. His name was Rong Jun and his nickname was Savage. Savage Rong Jun. the absolute warrior who killed his second brother Thunder God back then, a monster who had once swept through the arena battles. According to this distribution, there will be close to 100 Origin Laws warriors who will meet in the fourth battle. Hong nodded, and these close to 100 people are all the most valiant in the arena battles. No matter if it was Savage, Rong Jun or Madman Luo Feng, they were both unstoppable in their arena battles. In terms of strength, these close to 100 people should belong to the upper echelons of the Origin Laws. Hong emphasized, right now, the Virtual Universe Company is letting them meet to test them. And the losers still have a chance to go through the losers' matches. The number of Origin Laws warriors that enter the losers' matches is less than 50, and there will be 275 slots for the losers. Even if these Origin Laws warriors lose the fourth battle, through the losers' matches, they can still get a slot. From the Virtual Universe Company's point of view, it should be to test these people. The pinnacle of head-on clashes, the losers' matches, the 9,374 battles, they all have training effects. Hong said. Luo Feng and Thunder God nodded. That made sense. The Virtual Universe Company organized this to select the most elite geniuses, hence beating up the most outstanding ones was a very normal phenomenon. Third brother. Hong emphasized Luo Feng, from the first to the third battle, you have no problems at all. Right now, your only opponent is Savage Rong Jun, whom you will meet in the fourth battle. I have seen his strength with my own eyes. It is very, very terrifying. He's much stronger than your group's Pushkin. I've exchanged blows with him before, I was finished in one move. Thunder God said, he's very strong, especially that blade slash, it's extremely heavy. I know. Luo Feng nodded. If he wanted to get a slot earlier, he had to defeat that Savage. And Savage's arena battles, he had watched from the dojo, he was indeed ridiculously strong. Who asked you to be too strong? Thunder God smiled, because you were too strong, killing the other geniuses in the group battles was like killing dogs. The Virtual Universe Company values you, hence they arranged for Savage to fight you. To let the strong fight. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 4:18. China Time Year 2066, July 23. Within the virtual universe, within the Battle Axe Coliseum space, on island number 29904, a genius battle was about to begin. Attention all, the one standing in the arena right now is the genius from the Dragon Horn star field, Sai Weiluo. As the loud and sonorous voice reverberated throughout the entire arena, the spectator seats in the arena immediately burst into thunderous cheers. The hundreds of millions of spectators from the Dragon Horn Star area were so excited that they roared and screamed in excitement. Sai Weiluo! Sai Weiluo! You're the strongest! Over 100 million people were cheering excitedly. Both sides of the arena battle starfields were able to receive 100 million tickets. Hence, out of the 1 billion spectators today, 200 million of them were from the Dragon Horn Starfield and the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. Next up is the one everyone has been waiting for, the absolute genius from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Luo Feng. The commentator's voice was even louder than before. Obviously, the commentator's attitude was obviously biased towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng. Luo Feng. Luo Feng. Not only were the over 100 million people from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire cheering excitedly, the other 800 million spectators from the other starfields from the Ganwu Universe country were also cheering Luo Feng's name. Even though they both went through the arena battles, it was obvious that Luo Feng, who had swept his own group, had won the love of many people from the Ganwu Universe country. Under the gazes of 1 trillion people, following the same pathway, Luo Feng too entered the arena within the arena. The cheers immediately grew louder. Countless human girls from all races were incomparably excited, some even fainted from the shouts. This was the effect of 100% virtual reality. Even the physiology was completely simulated. There were only two youths standing in the arena. One was carrying a dark golden long rod on his back and dressed in a dark gray armor, the black-haired youth Luo Feng, and the other was standing on a huge platform with a gentle smile on his face and a gentle aura, Sai Weiluo. Luo Feng, please advise me. Sai Weiluo courteously bowed, expressing his politeness. Luo Feng stood there, silent like a dormant volcano, with no reaction at all. Not knowing why, even though Sai Weiluo was courteous, Luo Feng felt a sense of disgust. As for why, Luo Feng couldn't explain it. You too. The tall and burly commentator, who was dressed handsomely, smiled and said, "It's very similar to the arena group battle. As the battle progresses, your fighting space will continue to shrink. In just 5 minutes, the combat space would shrink to a diameter of 1 meter. Therefore, each of your battles can only last 5 minutes at most." "Thank you." Severus smiled at the commentator. Luo Feng only responded, "All right then, let the battle begin," said the commentator with a smile. As soon as he said begin, his entire being dissipated, leaving only 2 opponents in the ring. Whoosh! Sevelo stepped on a giant pedal and quickly flew into the distance, as fast as lightning. Hide! Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. He stepped on the soaring shuttle and immediately became a golden light, obviously faster than Sai Weiluo. The battle space originally had a diameter of 30 kilometers, but as time passed, it continued to shrink. And with Luo Feng and Sai Weiluo's speed, they almost instantly reached the edge of the battle space. This is the moment. Sai Weiluo felt that the distance between the two of them was very close. He fiercely turned, simultaneously decreasing his speed, causing the swiftly charging Luo Feng to be very close to him. Sai Weiluo's eyes were filled with madness. Go! Kill him! The huge pedal beneath him simultaneously shot out a silver light. This silver light revolved around the green energy flow around his body. The silver light automatically split into 9 silver arrows and shot at Luo Feng. Xiao! 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 9 silver arrows. Almost like 9 shooting stars shooting at Luo Feng. Even though the Nanshan armament is powerful, it has a weakness. Sai Weiluo's eyes were filled with intense desire, a desire for victory. That is its defense is its weakness. His strength is average, and he still dares to split it into 9 attacks? Luo Feng snorted coldly. He really thinks I have no defense. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. The soaring shuttle under his feet suddenly emitted beams of light, which quickly combined into 16 strange shields. Each of the 16 shields was connected with a golden thread. Among the 16 shields, 8 of them were on the outside, while the other 8 were on the inside. The shields rotated at the same time, with different speeds. All of them followed a strange pattern. This move. Sword Array. The soaring shuttle's second form defense move. Sword Array. The soaring shuttle had a total of 3 forms. The first form, attack, was the mountain drill, defense was the mountain shield. The second form, attack, was the swordfish formation, defense was the sword array. As for the third form, one had to reach the universe level to use it. Hence, if Luo Feng wanted to use the soaring shuttle, he would at most use the swordfish formation and the sword array. 8 shields floated around his body, and 8 more floated around the outer layer of the shield. The inner and outer shields revolved around his body, slightly moving up and down, intertwining with each other in a golden color. A strange energy emanated. Infused with Luo Feng's understanding of the gold origin laws, the defense was simply perfect. When the 9 silver meteors shot over, the 16 shields rotated slightly, and there was no longer any space to block. Dang, dang, dang. A series of clashing sounds. The 9 arrows weren't that strong, they couldn't even shake the defense of the 16 shields. Actually, normal spirit weapons wouldn't be as versatile as the soaring shuttle. Under normal circumstances, the stronger the spirit weapon, the more specialized it would be. Purely offensive spirit weapons. purely defensive, purely flying. Gold, extremely strong and unyielding. This Nanshin armament was naturally a pure offensive spirit weapon, incomparably tyrannical. Attack. Condensing it would make it strong, splitting it would make it weak. And this Sai Weiluo knew he couldn't beat Luo Feng, hence he gambled that Luo Feng didn't bring any defensive spirit weapons, hence he controlled the 9 arrows simultaneously. Actually controlling the 9 arrows separately, splitting his consciousness into 9 parts, the power would be weaker. He specialized in gambling, fighting for a chance of survival. Against the 9 arrows, Luo Feng could at most block 2 or 3 with the illusion blade form. That way, Sai Weiluo would have a chance of victory. It was a pity. Luo Feng had a defensive spirit weapon. That was the soaring shuttle. The soaring shuttle was capable of flight, defense, and offense under special circumstances. As Luo Feng had been studying it, hence using the soaring shuttle's defensive form, the sword array was the wisest choice now. Maybe there were better defensive spirit weapons, however Luo Feng didn't have enough time to study them. It's over. Sai Weiluo's expression changed greatly. Chi. The golden illusion blade became a golden rainbow light, immediately smashing into his spirit weapon and piercing through his head. First battle, Luo Feng won. 2nd battle. Luo Feng, I know I'm not your match, however. I still want to spar with you. Luo Feng's second opponent, the moment he stepped up he admitted, he wasn't Luo Feng's match. Very quickly. Second battle, Luo Feng easily won again. 3rd battle. The third opponent was extremely strong, comparable to Pushkin. Especially the huge axe, its power was shocking. However, against the 9 arrows before, Luo Feng's illusion blade form couldn't do anything. However, against the huge axe, Luo Feng could easily control the golden illusion blade to block it head-on, stepping on the soaring shuttle from afar, controlling the golden illusion blade from afar. With just 6 attacks, the huge axe-wielding tall and sturdy man's arms were shattered, spitting out fresh blood. Naturally, he had no way to retaliate. Third battle, Luo Feng won again. 3 battles, 3 wins. Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-star Bay District. Luo Feng's house entrance. Luo Feng and the silver-haired old man Buddha Asaka sat opposite each other. 3 battles, 3 wins. Right now the entire Black Dragon Mountain Island is talking about you. The silver-haired old man smiled. In this virtual universe network, many entertainment programs, news programs are all paying attention to you. Luo Feng smiled. Sitting at home, he could hear the cheers of the people drinking and causing trouble outside the district. These were all because of Luo Feng's victories. They were all excitedly drinking and celebrating. Lord Buddha Asaka, you didn't come here just to talk about these things, right? Luo Feng smiled at the silver-haired old man. I came with His Majesty's words. The silver-haired old man looked at Luo Feng. Tomorrow's 4th battle, as long as you win it, you'll get a slot. His Majesty hopes that you prepare well. Don't get careless, your opponent is very strong. I know. Luo Feng nodded. In his mind appeared the image of his opponent. That messy-haired, barefoot savage youth. Defeat him. Luo Feng thought within. Within the Ganwu universe country, within a vast starfield, a disc-shaped D6 grade ship was parked on a mineral planet's moon, within a resting cabin within the D6 grade ship. A robust male who was more than 3 meters tall, his hair still disheveled and his feet bare, was currently sitting on the alloy floor of the resting cabin with that short blade on his back. He currently had his head raised, silently looking at a photo hanging on the wall. It was a photo of a tanned, robust youngster and a tall and sturdy man with their arms around each other's shoulders. Father! This savage youth quietly looked at the picture, muttering, "Even though you aren't my father by blood, but—" The savage youth gritted his teeth, saying softly, "I too, man, swear. I will definitely kill that bastard. Definitely." His eyes emitted a cold light that made people's hearts palpitate, as if he was a hungry and crazy lone wolf. He's an undying. He's the emperor that created the empire. But I will definitely kill him. Father, just watch. I will rush into the universe's top 1000 in the genius battle, enter the Virtual Universe Company. Even within the same generation of the Virtual Universe Company, I will become the strongest. The savage said in a low voice, "The day I kill him will be the day the name 2-Man is restored. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Hee, tomorrow is Saturday. I didn't even spend time with my wife during Lantern Festival. I'll be spending time with her tomorrow. Right, today's late, hence tomorrow is Saturday. Tomato will work hard to update a chapter. As for the rest of the time, I'll give it to my wife, at the same time, pulling down the monthly votes, just a little bit more and I'll be in the top 3. Chapter 419. It's Madman. That madman is here, quickly flee. Chi. On the screen, the dark gray armored black short-haired youth walked coldly on the street. A golden fish wantonly slaughtered a group of geniuses, bodies flew and fresh blood dyed the quiet streets red. During the elimination battles, the scenes of Luo Feng's slaughter continued to be broadcasted. He is the absolute genius that countless geniuses call madman. Luo Feng. He has always been hiding his strength. Entering the arena battles he finally used his true weapon Nanshin armament, sweeping his way through, undefeatable. Savage. I admit I'm not your match. I don't want to battle you. Even if you don't want to, you have to. A thick, powerful voice resounded. One could only see the barefooted, 3 m tall savage immediately close in. The seemingly light blade in his hand, however, seemed to have mountains within it, immediately cutting through the opponent's defenses and killing him. Savage Rong Jun's slaughter scenes continued to be broadcasted. Just with his aura alone he instills fear in countless warriors, the absolute genius known as Savage Rong Jun. From the elimination battles to the arena battles, wielding one battle blade, killing all his targets, till now no one has been able to stop him. The two of them, Madman Luo Feng and Savage Rong Jun, in the 4th round of the arena battles, island number 00001, they are about to engage in a pinnacle battle. One madman, one savage. Who's stronger? Will the madman sweep through the savage, or will the savage kill the madman? Please wait for the 4th round of the arena battles, their pinnacle battle. A promotional video that was about 15 minutes long appeared on the front page of the Virtual Universe Company's Ganwu website. Only the Virtual Universe Company itself was able to obtain a video of the elimination battles. The moment this video was released, it immediately caused countless people in the Ganwu universe to download it, swiftly spreading throughout the entire universe country. Uproar. Countless people from the Ganwu universe country rushed to buy tickets for this battle. Even though there were many battles in the 4th round of the arena battles, what people were really anticipating was the 49 battles. These 49 battles were all absolute geniuses that had stepped through the gateway of the origin laws, and in terms of aura, Madman Luo Feng and Savage Rong Jun were the top. The battle between the two of them was arranged on Island 00001, and the ticket was also the most expensive. But the number of people who wanted to buy tickets for this battle was also the highest. Especially when the promotional video was released. The nicknames Madman and Savage immediately spread across billions of galaxies, and countless people were looking forward to this battle. The time had finally arrived. It was July 26, Huaxia year 2066. Within the virtual universe, within the Battle Axe Coliseum space, on Island 00001, a battle between absolute geniuses was about to begin. The two battling were Madman Luo Feng and Savage Rong Jun. Madman. Barbarians. Luo Feng. Rong Jun. The 1 billion seats in the arena were filled to the brim. The battle had yet to begin, but the promotional video played on the large screen in the center of the arena caused countless spectators to cheer excitedly for the person they admired. Especially for the Black Dragon Mountain Empire and the Golden Sword Empire, the spectators were extremely proud of their empire. At the same time, within the preparation hall of the Colosseum, Luo Feng was still dressed in his dark gray armor, carrying the dark golden long rod on his back as he appeared in the preparation hall. There were only 2 seats in this hall, and the attendant beside said passionately, "Mr. Luo Feng, please rest here, the battle is about to begin." Nodding, Luo Feng immediately walked to his seat and sat down. He could clearly hear the tsunami-like cheers from the Colosseum. "Who?" A silhouette suddenly appeared. Luo Feng opened his eyes and looked. It was a tall and sturdy man, still barefooted, his hair messy. However, just standing there, he had a formless aura. Almost like he was the land and skies, that natural and overbearing aura made Luo Feng crease his eyebrows. When I saw him before, I was watching from afar in the Colosseum. And watching the videos, I didn't expect him to be so strong face to face. His aura, to a certain degree, reflects his personality. Living beings all had auras. If one's aura became incomparably strong, allowing others to easily feel it, then it could be called an aura. Aura was a very broad term. For example, among the normal people of Earth, a skinny and weak person, meeting a tall and sturdy fierce bandit, would be able to feel the pressure from the bandit. Strong willpower, firm willpower, powerful strength etc. would all produce an aura. Just like Luo Feng. Right now, when he was training in the wilderness of Earth, the pressure he emitted was something that even the strongest beasts wouldn't dare approach. "Mr. Rongjun, please rest here, the battle is about to begin." The attendant went to welcome him. Savage immediately sat in the seat opposite Luo Feng. The two sat facing each other. Savage's tiger eyes were wide open, almost as though 2 beams of lightning were shooting out, making people not dare to look at him. And Luo Feng sat there like a dormant volcano, silent, cold, filled with killing intent, making people not dare to easily touch him. "You are Luo Feng? Madman Luo Feng?" Savage's voice was thick and powerful. Luo Feng, who was sitting coldly with his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes and looked at Savage. If someone were to compare Luo Feng and the golden horned beast, they would realize that Luo Feng's gaze was almost exactly the same as the golden horned beast, cold and filled with killing intent. Savage was shocked within. This madman, his killing intent is so heavy. "What's the matter?" Luo Feng said. "Yes." Savage nodded, staring at Luo Feng. "The losers' circle battles. I'm very interested. The 9,374 losers' circle battles. These high-density battles are very useful for my training. I will definitely participate." Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. This savage Rongjun said he wanted to participate in the losers' circle battles. What did he mean? "You want to admit defeat?" Luo Feng looked at Savage. "No." Savage stared at Luo Feng. "I've never thought of admitting defeat, however. I will first defeat you, and then commit suicide to participate in the losers' circle battles." "Defeat me and then commit suicide?" Luo Feng squinted. "That spot isn't difficult for me at all." Savage grinned. His entire being was filled with a strong battle intent. "What I need is battle, battle after battle. I need to temper myself and improve myself. Hence, Luo Feng, I hope you don't disappoint me, don't be defeated in an instant." Within the preparation hall, Luo Feng closed his eyes again, saying coldly, "Relax, I will immediately kill you and send you to participate in the losers' circle battles." "Ah? I'm looking forward to it." Savage grinned. Luo Feng, who was sitting coldly with his eyes closed, revealed a smile at the corners of his lips. With just a few simple words, Luo Feng and Rongjun had a good impression of each other. The two of them were the same type of people, absolute confidence, not easily admitting defeat, unforgiving people. "Fight! Fight!" Luo Feng and Rong Jun could feel each other's intense battle intent and absolute confidence. Mr. Luo Feng, Mr. Rong Jun, please head to the pathway and prepare. We're about to enter the dojo. The attendant came over and said carefully. Luo Feng and Savage stood up at the same time. The two exchanged glances, feeling the raging battle intent in each other's eyes, following which they headed towards the pathway. The dojo was filled to the brim, almost like a sea of people. The people from over 100 million galaxies of different races all cheered loudly. Madman Luo Feng from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Savage Rong Jun from the Golden Sword Empire, the two of them are walking over together. The commentator was a man, his voice resounding. Madman! Madman! Savage! Savage! The spectators from over 100 million galaxies all cheered excitedly. Compared to his real name, it was this nickname that countless people swiftly accepted. Within the arena, Luo Feng and Rong Jun stared at each other. The rules of the arena battles, the two of you should know. The commentator looked at the two. This battle will decide the final placings. The victor of the two will get a spot, and the loser will have to enter the loser's bracket and undergo the long loser's circle battles. The two of you should understand, right? Then now the battle begins. With a low roar, his voice reverberated throughout the entire arena. The commentator disappeared in an instant, and the 1 billion spectators in the arena fell silent. Everyone stared at the enlarged images of the two people in the arena. The moment they heard the word begin, Madman Luo Feng and Savage Rong Jun, who had been controlling themselves almost simultaneously, exploded with their auras. The strong normally kept their auras hidden, just like how Luo Feng lived with his family. How could he casually explode with killing auras? And like a sector lord, even if they kept their auras hidden, with just a gaze infused with some willpower pressure, it would cause a star-level opponent's soul to be unable to withstand it and crumble. Battle. One was the conviction and willpower to fight, using one's strong aura to directly pressure the opponent to the point of fear, affecting the opponent. This was of course beneficial to one's battle. Whether it was Rong Jun or Luo Feng, they had never met such a strong opponent before, hence the two released their auras at the same time, wanting to directly affect the opponent's conviction, making the opponent feel fear and dread. Only that little bit of emotion, the opponent's strength could probably only be unleashed at 60 to 70%. Rumble. Luo Feng's gaze became even colder. A formless and terrifying killing aura emanated, infused with Luo Feng's willpower and aura, directly pressuring the opponent. It made people feel like Luo Feng was like a cold and bloodthirsty absolute ferocious beast, sitting there looking down at his opponent. Ha 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 ha! Savage let out a carefree laugh. Under his messy hair, his godlike eyes locked onto Luo Feng. Luo Feng, let's fight! Fight! An extremely intense murderous aura spread out. The savage young man's intense battle intent contained his willpower, incomparably resolute. Unshakable. Their auras collided and their wills collided. Both of them could feel how strong their opponent was. Boom! Boom! Beams of dazzling sharp golden energy flows and beams of earth yellow energy flows that were as heavy as mountains immediately spread out with Luo Feng and Rong Jun at the center. I'm going out with my wife today. I'm updating earlier. Brothers, the monthly votes were awesome, but now the third place is in danger. I hope everyone can take a look and see if there are any monthly votes left. If there are, please support Tomato. Chapter 420. Let's fight, let's fight. Savage was like a war god of the universe, roaring, his eyes glowing red. Under his opponent's influence, Luo Feng's eyes grew even colder. His entire being was like a suppressed beast. Clang! Blade drawing! Dash! Savage's bare feet moved. Every step he took was tens of millions of kg. The arena with a diameter of over 10 kilometers shook. With just 2 steps, the tall and sturdy Savage had already reached before Luo Feng. That blade infused with earth yellow energy slashed straight at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, who was on the soaring shuttle, fiercely retreated in an arc, his eyes stunned. He squeezed out a word through his teeth. Kill! Xiao! A thread of golden light flew out from the dark golden long rod on Luo Feng's back. The 9 little golden blades had complicated engravings on them swiftly flowed, and the golden threads formed a complete body, swiftly forming a golden blade. Different from 2 months ago during the elimination, the current Luo Feng's control of the golden blade was obviously much more proficient. Rumble! A ray of golden light shot towards the savage youth. Break! Savage's expression was malevolent, roaring softly, fiercely slashing at the golden rainbow. Under the pressure of the earth yellow energy around Savage, Luo Feng's eyes flashed coldly. The golden rainbow still immediately changed directions to dodge the blade. Dang! It looked like it was about to dodge, but the saber seemed to move a few inches horizontally in the air, directly slashing down on the golden rainbow, causing the golden rainbow to be slashed backward. The entire golden illusory sword trembled as if it was about to fall apart. The savage young man couldn't help but take a step back. His hand that was holding onto the saber loosened. Big brother and second brother are right, this punk's blade is really heavy. There hasn't been a single person who could slash my golden blade so hard it almost broke apart. In the distance, Luo Feng, who was controlling the golden blade in mid-air, his expression changed. Gold, extremely young and strong? Savage stuck out his tongue, licking his thick lips, after which he fiercely roared, seemingly extremely excited. Savage! Savage! The 1 billion spectators in the dojo, countless of them were affected by the atmosphere, all roaring with all their might. Within the arena. Die! Luo Feng remained cold and unmoved, snorting coldly. Immediately the floating golden blade once again sped up, becoming a golden rainbow that pierced towards Savage. The savage young man who let out a roar rushed over with large stride. His footwork changed. His silhouette evaded time and time again, it was simply unpredictable, swiftly closing in on Luo Feng. No matter what, I can't let him get close. Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and pulled apart the distance between him and his opponent. The golden sword rainbow charged towards the savage young man again and again. Dang! 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 Again and again they collided head-on, causing the earth to shake and the mountains to shake. However, that savage used the energy from the clash to change his direction, swiftly closing in on Luo Feng. One had to know that at their level, they could travel hundreds or even thousands of meters in a flash, and Luo Feng couldn't be too far away. If he was too far away, it would be very tiring to control the spirit weapon. This gave Savage the chance to get close and attack. Luo Feng was after all a controller. He specialized in long-range attacks and not close combat. What a powerful movement! Luo Feng worked hard to dodge again and again. It was extremely dangerous. Luckily, with his comprehension of the gold origin laws, using the soaring shuttle was much easier. His speed was much faster and more nimble. This Luo Feng is escaping really quickly. Savage was anxious within. Normally I can instantly get close and kill a controller, however. This Luo Feng's spirit weapon is extremely nimble and fast. He dodges every time. In the spectator stands of the dojo, the 1 billion spectators were completely stunned. Of these 2 opponents, one was strong and barbaric, dashing about, his footwork peculiar, almost like an invincible war god, chasing after Luo Feng time and time again. And the other was like an elegant master, time and time again dodging and dodging the opponent's close range, making the opponent's efforts useless, simultaneously controlling his spirit weapon to attack again and again. 2 completely different styles. One was a barbaric fighter. The other was a long-range fighter. Savage is too strong. If this madman dodges any slower, he'll be finished if he gets hit by the blade. Madman is really strong. Every time he clashed head-on, that savage's body would suffer from the recoil. He's probably already injured. If this goes on, Savage will definitely be finished. Whether it was the 1 billion spectators in the dojo or the countless galaxies watching through the broadcast, Luo Feng and Rong Jun both understood how difficult it was to deal with their opponents. Lightning-fast clashing time and time again. It lasted for a minute before stopping. Savage stood in the arena and looked at the distant Luo Feng. Luo Feng too stopped attacking. My arm. Savage creased his eyebrows. He felt his entire right arm ache. The area between his thumb and index finger had already split open. Clashing head-on again and again. Every clash was extremely terrifying. If it was a normal genius, just one clash would cause his arm to break. Just like before when Luo Feng used the golden blade, with one attack, it would immediately break his opponent's arm. As one of the 9 godly weapons, the Nanshin armament combined with the origin law comprehension to unleash an attack, how terrifying was its power! And Savage was famous for his barbaric strength. Every slash would immediately cause the opponent's arm to break, killing him. 2 strong people, clashing head-on. Continuously clashing 10 times. I can't go on like this. If this goes on, my right arm will be crippled. Savage stared hard at Luo Feng. Every clash I have to endure, and he's a spirit reader. The clash doesn't even affect his body. I'm at a disadvantage. In mid-air, dressed in a dark gray armor, Luo Feng was shocked within. After 10 consecutive full-powered attacks, he's actually completely fine. Using the Nanshin armament, full-powered attacks use up a lot of spirit energy. After 10 attacks, my spirit energy has been depleted by more than half. If this was in reality, he would have the core to supply his spirit energy. He wouldn't have to worry about his spirit energy being depleted at all. However, right now in the virtual universe world, this body was set up by the virtual universe company. Everyone's body and spirit energy were the same. Even though his spirit energy was replenishing itself every second, however, this replenishment was a star level 9 spirit reader's normal replenishment speed. It couldn't compare to the golden horned beast's core. He was in trouble. Savage's right arm was injured. He didn't dare continue clashing head-on. Luo Feng's spirit energy had been depleted by more than half. He didn't dare to continue clashing head-on. What to do? Holding one's breath. The dojo quietened down. The 2 watched from afar. And the 1 billion spectators in the dojo also quietened down. And in the Ganwu universe country, the trillions of universe humans watching the broadcast of this pinnacle battle were all nervous and anticipating. Virtual universe, on a huge floating island in the air above the Ganwu continent, within one of the tallest buildings. Within this building, there was a huge hall. The entire hall's floor was made out of a black peculiar crystal. The crystal's surface had 64 facets, glowing with a luster that mesmerized one's soul. It made the entire hall naturally have a peculiar energy. Everything seemed surreal. Countless thrones were scattered, arranged in an orderly fashion. Right at the front of the hall was a screen. On it was broadcasting Luo Feng and Rong Jun's battle. The Virtual Universe Company has placed the 2 of them on Island 00001. These 2 punks, their strength is still alright. However, they shouldn't be considered the pinnacle of our Ganwu Universe country's current batch. This bit of strength, they can't even make it into the top 10. However, they're about 100th, that's about it. The densely packed and scattered thrones had people sitting on them. Some were men and some were women, some were tall and some were short, some were old and some were children. Their auras were either incomparably hot or ice-cold. This group of people with extremely long lifespans, the pinnacle existences of the Ganwu universe country, were casually chatting. Boring. I thought there would be a surprise. It's about the same level as the previous batch's average. This group of great existences were casually discussing. Within the dojo, Luo Feng and Savage only stayed silent for about 20 seconds, before breaking the silence. As the arena battles lasted at most 5 minutes, the longer it dragged on, the smaller the battle space. To Luo Feng, who had to constantly dodge and widen the distance, it would be extremely disadvantageous. Under the continuous attacks of the Nanshan armament, you can even block it. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed with madness. I respect you, hence. Luo Feng raised both his hands and pointed at Savage. 1. A beam of golden light shot out from the dark golden long rod on Luo Feng's back, swiftly assembling in mid-air. This scene made the entire dojo, the countless spectators watching the broadcast, and even the great Undying's eyes gleam. What? Savage couldn't hide his shock. The second golden blade? Yes. Before Luo Feng floated the golden blade that had been assembled from the start, and at this time, another golden blade was formed in mid-air. Done! Luo Feng gritted his teeth, his expression furious, his consciousness split into 2 blades, using all his strength to support them. Nanshan armament, its name was the 9-level Hun Tianyan. When unleashed, there were a total of 9 levels. First level, illusion blade form 2 ND level, sky-piercing form amongst them. This first level was the easiest. Even domain lords who didn't understand the origin laws could use their powerful spirit energy to forcefully form it. Of course, when one's spirit energy wasn't strong enough, one would need a strong enough consciousness and origin law comprehension to form it. The first level, before the elimination, Luo Feng could already barely form it in reality. The second level, sky-piercing form, was 100 to 1,000 times harder, because the sky-piercing form required one to simultaneously unleash 9 golden blades, and then condense the 9 blades into one, forming a golden true blade. Different from the misty illusion blade, it condensed into a golden true blade that was only 1 qi long. This golden true blade's power was extremely huge. Only then would it have the right to be called sky-piercing. Hence, Luo Feng had long since tried to unleash 2 golden blades. After all, only by unleashing 9 golden blades would he have the right to condense the illusion into reality, unleashing the sky-piercing form. In reality, I'm only a star level 7 spirit reader. My spirit energy isn't strong enough. I can't unleash 2 blades yet. However, in the virtual universe, my spirit energy is at the star level 9. It's much stronger than in reality. Spirit energy is stronger than reality. I have more confidence in unleashing it. From the elimination till now, it's been over 2 months. I've been training hard. Before this arena battle, I already have the confidence to unleash 2 golden blades. Luo Feng looked at Savage before him, fiercely shouting, "Savage! Take this!" Rumble! Rumble! The 2 golden blades, one on the left and one on the right, became 2 golden rainbows, attacking the distant Savage. P.S. Chapter 1. Chapter 421. Luo Feng. Luo Feng. The entire dojo spectators, along with the over 100 million galaxies watching the broadcast, all cheered excitedly. With regards to Luo Feng and Rong Jun's advertisement, the Virtual Universe Network had many pieces of information, analysis, etc. Many warriors were analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of these 2. The Nanshan armament was naturally discussed too, hence many of the spectators knew how difficult it was to unleash. Luo Feng unleashing 1 golden blade was already invincible, and now he actually unleashed 2 at once. It was too intrepid. Ah! The savage youth let out a low growl and took a step forward. With a single step, he was a kilometer away. Rumble! Rumble! Bringing with it an energy wave, the 2 golden rainbows followed and attacked. Break! Savage's expression was fierce. He slashed like lightning towards one of the golden blades. Dang! The moment it struck, the blade slightly changed direction. At the same time, Savage immediately turned, borrowing the force of the collision to swing his blade. Dang! He blocked the second golden rainbow. Chi! Fresh blood was spat out. Savage retreated 2 steps, his face slightly pale, his eyes however burning with a strong fighting spirit, communicating, Luo Feng, the two golden blades are powerful, however, you are splitting your attention to control two. Each golden blade only has about 90% of its original power. 90% power, combining the two, if you block it once, you'll be considered powerful. I'll see how many times you block it. In mid-air, Luo Feng squinted, communicating, again? Ha 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 ha. Savage suddenly laughed loudly, simultaneously fiercely swinging the blade in his hand. Xiao! The blade in his hand became a blur, almost like a hidden weapon, shooting straight at Luo Feng in mid-air. Chem? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. One of the golden blades in mid-air became an arc and blocked, with a dang! The blade was immediately knocked away and landed on the distant arena. What is he doing? The spectators in the dojo were in an uproar. A fighter throwing away the weapon in his hand? Almost like a fighter cutting off his own arm, there was simply something wrong with his brain. What happened? Why did he throw away his weapon? This savage wants to admit defeat. That madman Luo Feng from the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, the moment those two golden blades appeared. This savage knew he couldn't beat him, hence he admitted defeat. It's not strange at all. Are you admitting defeat without fighting to the death? The audience was in an uproar. There was silence in the arena. Floating in mid-air, Luo Feng frowned, looking coldly at the distant savage on the ground. Even though he hadn't interacted much with this savage, the simple conversation, the clash of willpower, Luo Feng was very sure this savage before him had absolute confidence. Even if he lost, he would fight to the death. There was no way he would admit defeat. Luo Feng. Savage stood in the arena, the corner of his mouth still had traces of blood, but his eyes were gleaming, laughing loudly. The internal selection of the Ganwu Universe country, I've never cared. My bottom line is to enter the top 1,000 in the universe. My true goal is to be number one in the universe. Luo Feng was shocked. The 1 billion people in the spectator stands were shocked. The countless humans in the over 100 million galaxies watching the broadcast were all shocked. At this time, countless people in the Ganwu Universe country were shocked. Number one in the universe? His bottom line was to enter the top 1,000? This was a competition between large amounts of universe country geniuses. On average, each universe country didn't even have one person. He actually dared to say his bottom line was to be in the universe's top 1,000 and his goal was to be number one in the universe. This couldn't even be called simple arrogance. Simply madness. Within the arena. Luo Feng couldn't help but be shocked. The savage young man on the ground flipped his hand, and a new saber appeared in his hand. It was a pure black giant saber. It was obviously 2 sizes bigger than the previous blade. I didn't expect that just to get a slot in the Ganwu Universe country would force me to take out the earth-splitting blade. Savage's entire aura changed. Wielding the huge blade, he seemed to have become a savage god of war, causing Luo Feng in mid-air to shout, "Whatever moves you have, take them out first!" Rumble! Rumble! 2 golden rainbows slashed over. Ha ha! Savage laughed loudly. 1. Immediately, 2 savage youths appeared in the arena. These 2 silhouettes were rushing over with terrifying speed. What? Luo Feng, who was controlling the 2 golden blades, was shocked. This spirit reader controller was most afraid of not being able to confirm his target. These 2 savage youths, one of them is definitely fake. However, with a sweep of my spirit energy, they're both real. How can that be? It was very easy to create an illusion. In truth, for a warrior like Luo Feng, with his shocking movement speed, in the eyes of Earth's normal humans, they would only produce a series of images, almost like a body illusion. And in truth, no matter how fast he moved, he was still one person. With a sweep of his spirit energy, there was nowhere to hide. Arc light! Arc light! Luo Feng roared within. The golden horned beast studied 2 great techniques, one of which was absolute space. Absolute space's first level arc light, the moment one mastered it, One's movement would cause space to warp, creating the effect of having two bodies. Absolute space's second level. Infinite changes. The moment one mastered it, one could even create up to 10,000 bodies within a certain area. Absolute space's third level. Teleportation. At this level, one would be invincible within the undying level. Even Luo Feng's teacher, the master of the Yunmo planet, hadn't reached the teleportation level. Even amongst the generations of golden-horned beasts, there were very, very few that could do it. This technique was actually a technique for one's comprehension of the space laws. If one comprehended the space laws, they too could reach the arc-light effect. The body would follow a strange arc and explode with speed, creating the effect of having two bodies. And the instantaneous speed was shockingly fast. Virtual universe, Ganwu continent, within the huge floating island structure. Many huge thrones. The great beings were still very casual before, however at this time, space origin laws. It's space. And his comprehension is quite high, not any weaker than his comprehension of the Earth origin laws. He can actually distort space and create a cloning effect. This punk. Our Ganwu universe country hasn't produced such an absolute genius in so many years. Crazy, this punk is crazy enough. No wonder he dares to say his bottom line is the universe's top 1,000. His true goal is the universe's number 1. His comprehension of the Earth and space laws are so high, and his domain has even reached the 9th level. Just who nurtured this absolute genius? These great beings were all shocked. Because, if a universe-level warrior could step through the gateway of the origin laws, he would already be considered an extraordinary genius. However, those geniuses belonged to the universe system level, and people like Nabini and Hong belonged to the starfield level. Luo Feng, who could unleash one golden blade, belonged to the universe country level. Unleashing 2 golden blades meant he was the top of the universe country geniuses. As for Savage, Earth and space comprehension at the same time, and his comprehension was quite deep, and he was just a star-level punk. This was simply heaven-defying. He belonged to the entire universe humanity-level genius, and he was one of the top. Arc-light? Luo Feng, who had been studying absolute space with all his might, immediately understood what was going on. Go and die. Luo Feng was in mid-air, pointing at Savage and shouting. Rumble! Boom! 2 golden sword rainbows shot towards one of the Savage youths. Looking at it with the naked eye and using psyche power, one could see that there were 2 Savage youths. However, in reality there was only one person. It was only because the space around him was distorted that it created a mirror-like effect. Ha ha! Savage laughed loudly. He wasn't afraid of the 2 golden blades at all, rushing straight at Luo Feng. Crack! In the distance, Luo Feng roared. Luo Feng has always been researching absolute space, so he was very clear about the power of the first level, because he was clear. Luo Feng knew that even if he shot out 2 golden blades, they would still be dodged. The most important thing to do now was crack. The 2 golden illusory swords instantly split into 18 small golden swords and shot out in all directions. Xiao! 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 It instantly disintegrated and shot out. Instantly, 2 small golden swords struck the savage young man's body. Although they were weaker after disintegrating, they still destroyed his movement technique. Die! Luo Feng rushed down. Simultaneously, the 2 soaring shuttles beside him shot out 2 golden lights that became 2 golden fishes, disintegrating the golden blades, unleashing the swordfish formation. At the same time, the 2 golden fishes shot at the savage youth, whose movement technique was destroyed. What? Savage was shocked within. This movement technique of mine from the space origin laws, my instantaneous explosive speed is shocking. If his golden blades were slightly further away, I would be able to easily dodge them. If it was 2 or 3 golden blades at close range, it wouldn't be much. After all, there were a total of 18 of them. It completely affected his speed, destroying his movement technique. Chi! Chi! The 2 golden fishes had already reached before him. Dang! Dang! Savage's huge blade slashed out. Almost as though space itself was being suppressed, he slashed the 2 golden fishes away. After which he raised his blade high and slashed at Luo Feng. Go! Savage's blade slashed down. His domain and space origin law comprehension combined, completely suppressing Luo Feng. Die! Luo Feng roared. Rumble! Rumble! In the distance, the 18 little golden blades swiftly formed 2 golden blades behind Savage's back. As Savage slashed at Luo Feng, the 2 golden blades had already shot towards him. Sensing the danger through his domain, Savage didn't flee. Instead, he roared, "Go and die!" Pung! The blade was as fast as lightning. Luo Feng held the shield in his hand. He felt as though he was smashed by a huge mountain. His entire body rumbled and he lost consciousness. Pung! After slashing, Savage tried his best to dodge. He had already missed the best opportunity. Xiao! Xiao! Under the inertia, one of the 2 blades brushed past his body. The other pierced through his chest, creating a bowl-sized hole. His internal organs ruptured and fresh blood spurted out. Dong! Savage landed on the ground. Fresh blood flowed from the hole in his chest. He was like a heavily injured war god. However, he stood there staring at Luo Feng's corpse. At this moment, after the 2 golden illusory swords disintegrated, the 18 small golden swords fell from mid-air and smashed into the arena. Clang! Dang! 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 A series of crisp, clashing sounds resounded throughout the entire arena. The 1 billion people in the arena were silent, looking at the 2 absolute geniuses in the arena. One stood there. One lay down. P.S. The 2nd chapter has ended, continue writing the 3rd. Brothers, give me some monthly support. Tomato, continue writing. Chapter 422. Savage stood there silently, looking at Luo Feng's body on the ground. Luo Feng. Savage muttered, "My plan before was to defeat you and then kill myself. However, your strength far exceeded my expectations. If I don't use my full strength, I won't be able to defeat you. Compared to the high-intensity rotation battles that aren't challenging and only serve as training, defeating you is more important. And when you go all out, I can't defeat you without killing you." Savage recalled the scene from before, still shocked. This Luo Feng's reaction was too fast. According to his expectations, the moment he unleashed his full strength, Earth and space origin laws exploding, just the space distorting and 2 bodies appearing would cause Luo Feng to panic. Even if Luo Feng used the golden blades to attack, he would be able to dodge them, and then he would immediately get close and slash down. Luo Feng wouldn't be able to block it, naturally he would be heavily injured. After which he stopped and chose to kill himself. Everything would be very easy. However, what actually happened was completely different from what he had imagined. The moment his movement technique exploded, Luo Feng chose the most lethal attack. 2 golden swords instantly disintegrated and shot out at an extremely close distance. 18 little golden swords collectively shot out in all directions, covering the surrounding space and directly destroying his movement technique. At the same time, the 2 golden fish attacked. The 2 battled. During the battle, Luo Feng controlled the 18 little golden blades to swiftly form the golden blades and shot at Savage from behind. Chain after chain. From the moment I unleashed my full strength to the end of the battle, it wasn't even 0.1 seconds. The golden blades broke apart and shot out to break my movement, using the soaring shuttle to attack and then the golden blades to counterattack, and the timing was extremely precise. If he had hesitated for even a moment in between, giving me an opening, he would have been finished. To be able to think of everything in a short 0. 1 seconds and execute it perfectly. Calm. Absolute calm. Savage looked at Luo Feng's corpse, filled with respect. I can't be as calm as you. Indeed. Luo Feng and Luo Hua were both extremely calm people deep in their bones. And on Earth, Luo Feng had experienced countless life and death situations, especially when he took over the golden horned beast. He thought he was going to die. This experience allowed Luo Feng to remain calm no matter how dangerous it was. And the golden horned beast bloodline also affected him. The golden horned beast's specialty was being cold and bloodthirsty, coupled with the cultivation of the mental state taught by Big Brother and Second Brother. In terms of calmness, amongst the hundreds of geniuses from the Ganwu Universe country who had stepped through the gateway of the origin laws, Luo Feng was number one. In fact, the Earth Trio were all very impressive. In terms of becoming one with the world and empty mind, Luo Feng can't compare to his big brother and second brother. And if he was absolutely cold and calm, his personality along with the influence of the golden horned beast's bloodline would already be comparable to Earth's ancient records of Hong and Thunder God, who had trained their temperaments to the highest level. Hong and the god of thunder had cultivated to the highest level of Chinese culture and Indian culture purely based on their temperament. Luo Feng's mental state was weaker than them, however he was still much stronger than the other geniuses of the universe who didn't train at all. Adding on the influence of the golden horned beast bloodline, in terms of calmness, he could catch up to his big brother and second brother. Congratulations, Rong Jun! A loud and resounding voice resounded throughout the entire dojo, and thanks to Luo Feng, the two of them have given our Ganwu Universe country trillions of citizens a spectacular battle of the pinnacle. This is definitely the most exciting battle of this genius battle so far. However, there will always be a winner and a loser in a battle. This battle, Rong Jun wins. Rong Jun has also received a spot from our Ganwu Universe country. He has the right to represent the Ganwu Universe country and compete against the geniuses from the other universe countries. Let us all wait and see. Rong Jun in the many universe country geniuses battles, obtaining even higher honors. Rumble! The 1 billion spectators in the dojo were all cheering, some cheering Rong Jun and Savage, some cheering Luo Feng and Madman. This battle was definitely more exaggerated and exciting than what many of the spectators had expected. Luo Feng's explosive power made many think that this battle would be Luo Feng's victory. Who would have thought that Rong Jun would be so sick, actually splitting his body into two, and the final battle was even more intense. Luo Feng was dead, Rong Jun was heavily injured. Virtual universe, Ganwu continent, within a large palace. Within one of the large palaces, close to 1,000 youths were gathered, all looking up at the screen before them. On the screen, Luo Feng and Rong Jun's battle had just ended. Amongst you, some have already received a spot. Some are about to participate in the fourth battle. Below the screen, a tall and sturdy green-horned one-eyed man roared, "You are the most exceptional of our Ganwu Universe country's younger generation. Many of you think you are amazing. Look at the two of them. All of you, think about it carefully." After saying that, the green-horned one-eyed man walked out of the palace. Within the palace, the group of youths all had complex expressions on their faces, ugly. Stronger than me, both of them are stronger than me. A handsome cat-eared youth shook his head. That madman, 2 golden blades. I can't block them. Too strong. He can actually unleash 2 golden illusory swords. I can barely unleash one. These two. I still have some confidence in that Luo Feng. That Rong Jun, according to teacher's evaluation, has comprehended the space laws, that movement, that blade. A tall and sturdy 8 m tall, like a savage giant youth muttered softly, constantly shaking his head. The floating island in the air above the Ganwu continent within that huge building. On the densely distributed thrones, great and eternal existences were discussing the battle that had just taken place. How long has it been, our Ganwu Universe country's genius battles? How long has it been since such a level of battle happened? It was 300 over years ago, back when General Tai was still a star level 7. His battle was comparable to this one. Right, 300 over years ago. In the blink of an eye, close to 2 million years have passed. Haha, my battle back then could barely compare to this one. 89 million years have passed, I've become undying. However, my opponent back then wasn't any weaker than me. It's a pity that when he became a domain lord, he went to the foreign battleground to train and fell. A powerful metallic voice resounded. The path to undying is incomparably difficult. There are many dangers along the way, and the number of geniuses that have fallen has long been uncountable. The geniuses that have fallen can mostly only be called geniuses within a galaxy or starfield. And people like Luo Feng and Rong Jun, these two punks, these absolute geniuses, their chances of falling are much lower. That's true. If it was in the Ganwu secret region, these absolute geniuses would definitely be highly valued, to lower the chances of them falling. However, if it's in the virtual universe company, there are too many absolute geniuses there. The competition is even more intense, the elimination rate is even higher, the number of geniuses falling would be much higher than in the Ganwu secret region. What they need are true absolute warriors. This time, this Rong Jun will definitely be ranked number 1 in our universe country. And the universe's top 1000 is definitely not a problem. As for whether or not he can make it to the universe's top 1, the chances are very, very low. Making it to the top 10 is still possible. Right. Rong Jun is our Ganwu universe country's number 1 genius. Luo Feng should be in our Ganwu universe country's top 10. That punk Luo Feng is very calm. I have high hopes for him, so calm, the chances of him falling in the future will be lower. Luo Feng still didn't know that the Ganwu Universe country's group of undyings were evaluating his and Rong Jun's strength. He was still thinking about the battle from before. Nimble. Luo Feng's consciousness returned to reality, within his own study on Earth. My nimbleness is still not enough. Spirit Reader controllers riding spirit weapons are originally meant for long-distance battles. The moment a fighter gets close, that's just courting death. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. As long as I'm nimble enough, that Rong Jun can't even touch me, at least I'll be invincible. The space origin laws, I haven't even touched the door yet. However, training in absolute space for a long time, my body's instantaneous explosive speed has risen. Luo Feng thought, when I return, I'll need a flying spirit weapon that's most suitable for me. As for the soaring shuttle, it's ultimately still a hodgepodge, it's not specialized enough. He had to reflect on every battle. This was a habit he developed when he was a student in the dojo of Limit. After Luo Feng reflected for over half an hour, he entered the Virtual Universe Network. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-Star Bay Little District. 30. You've only returned now. Where did you go after the battle? Thunder God was waiting on the grass outside Luo Feng's villa, with Su Xian and a large group of people. Daddy, you're too powerful. Little Hai and Ping Ping rushed up and hugged Luo Feng. Big brother, you fought beautifully. Luo Hua revealed a look of glee. Right now the entire Ganwu Universe country is shaken, countless people are discussing you too. Go to the Virtual Universe Company's website and take a look. Many are leaving comments, saying that you and that savage are definitely the strongest geniuses of our universe country. It's all crazy outside. Su Gang nodded and exclaimed, Brother-in-law, you lost the battle. However, the entire Black Dragon Mountain Island is as excited as if you won. Indeed. Actually, many people in the universe couldn't understand the intricacies of Luo Feng and Rong Jun's battle, but because the battle had just ended, Rong Jun had already been recognized by a large group of sector lords, even some undyings, as the #1 genius of the Ganwu universe country. And he was the strongest genius in the past few hundred years. The #1 in the past few hundred years? This battle was naturally hyped up and heated. Rong Jun and Luo Feng's fame immediately rose. "Where's Big Brother?" Luo Feng asked curiously. "Big Brother there, he's at his house." Thunder God pointed at Hong's residence in the distance. "About 10 minutes after your battle, the founder of the Three-Axe Mountain, known as the Time Sector Lord Luo, arrived." "Time Sector Lord? Big Brother?" Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat. Hong's residence, the living room. A white-haired old man sat there, opposite Hong. "You don't regret it?" Luo looked at Hong. "If you leave with me, you won't be able to return for over 20,000 years. Hong gently nodded. His eyes were calm, without a hint of hesitation. "My monthly votes haven't been able to close the gap, almost like I'll be overtaken at any time. I hope everyone who has a monthly vote please support me. Tomato will put in a lot of effort to write. If you support Tomato, please throw in your votes. Even without a monthly vote, a recommendation vote can still warm one's heart. Today can be considered an outburst. It's rare for me to break out and write 3 chapters. In the past I've always written 3 chapters to make up for it. Don't forget to vote." Chapter 423. "Can you tell me why you suddenly decided to take me as your master before the deadline I gave you is up?" The Time Sector Master, Luo, looked at the Earth youth in front of him with interest. "Is this related to the arena battle that just ended with your third brother?" And Hong nodded and sighed. "Yes, this battle woke me up. I didn't think that in the blink of an eye, the gap between me and third bro would be so big." He knew Luo Feng was strong, but he didn't expect him to be this strong. "If I continue to be so stubborn, without a teacher to guide me, I think the gap between me and third bro will only get bigger and bigger. I'll be left further and further behind." Hong shook his head and smiled faintly. "Actually, it's not just third bro. I can also feel the pressure from second bro. Ever since he received the inheritance, his strength has improved significantly." "Yes." The Time Lord Luo smiles and nods. "It's good that you know the pressure. How about this, you get ready, and then we'll meet up in a spaceship. I'll give you a day to say goodbye to your family." Hong nodded. Not long after Light Sector Lord Luo left, Luo Feng and Thunder God came looking for him. "You're here. Have a seat." Hong pointed at the 2 seats beside him. "Big Brother, what happened?" Thunder God stared at Hong. "Then why did the founder of the Three-Axe Mountain Organization, the Time Ruler, suddenly come? Didn't I give you 10 days to consider? You still have 2 to 3 days to consider." Luo Feng looked at Hong too. He couldn't help but feel nervous. "I'm looking for the teacher," Hong said. "Teacher?" Luo Feng and Thunder God's expressions changed. "You've really decided to leave with the Time Realm Lord?" Thunder God hurriedly asked. "That'll be 20,000 plus years." "What concept is 20,000 plus years?" "The recorded history of our Huaxia culture is only 5,000 years old. We're going to leave Earth and leave for more than 20,000 years. This is simply. Can't we still meet in the virtual universe?" Hong smiled. "It's different." Thunder God shook his head. Luo Feng looked at Hong's expression and couldn't help but ask softly, "Big Brother, have you decided?" Hong glanced at Zhang Xian and nodded. "Indeed. Once I leave, I won't be able to see Earth for over 20,000 years. I won't be able to see my home. I won't be able to smell its air." Luo Feng looked at him. "Since I've embarked on this path of pursuing the peak, what else can't I give up?" Hong shook his head. "My children have already married, and I have nothing to worry about. I can also see my children in the virtual universe. As for my hometown, the place where I was born and raised, I'll keep it in my memories. Where there is gain, there is loss. After my wife died and my children got married, the most important thing in my life was martial arts. Roaming the universe, seeing the myriad wonders of the universe, pursuing the pinnacle of life. I like that kind of life. Hong's eyes glowed with a strange light. In the vast universe, there are as many experts as there are clouds. My goal is to stand among them. Not only that, but I also want to be the most outstanding and the strongest. Luo Feng and Thunder God exchanged glances, feeling their big brother's absolute confidence and desire. To be able to achieve high achievements in the martial Tao, one must first have this kind of absolute desire. Only then would they be able to work hard on their own initiative. Second bro. Third bro. Hong turned his head to look at the two of them and couldn't help but laugh. You two should be happy for me. Why? Both of you have inheritances, and you're just going to watch Big Brother cultivate in seclusion alone? Ah! Thunder God was stunned, after which he laughed loudly. Big Brother, well said. Me and Third Bro have our own inheritances. You two follow the Time Sector Lord. Let's compete and see which of us three brothers will be stronger in the future. Let's compete then. Hong laughed too. Big Brother and Second Bro, I'm currently in the lead. Luo Feng laughed. You better be careful and maintain your advantage. Otherwise, your second brother and I may catch up in the blink of an eye. Hong looked at Luo Feng. Thunder God too said, Right, Third Bro, your big brother and I didn't have a good teacher to teach us at the start. Now that we have a teacher to teach us, our powers immediately soar, and your big brother's comprehension is extremely high. Even more so for me. Hence Third Bro, you better be careful. If you have the ability, come and chase. Luo Feng laughed loudly. The three brothers of Earth laughed loudly. However, unknowingly, the corners of their eyes began to moisten. Milky Way, Earth, Asia continent, Hong Ning headquarters city. China time year 2066, July 27th, evening 5 p.m. The sun hadn't even set and the sky was bright red. A dark blue disc-shaped universe ship floated in the air above Hong Ning headquarters city. The entire upper echelon of the Dojo of Limits and Hong's own family were all gathered here. After bidding farewell to his family and friends, this super warrior Hong, who had a special position on Earth, finally flew into the universe ship alone. Goodbye. Haha, don't be like that. We'll meet again in the virtual universe. Following his loud laughter, Hong flew into the universe ship. Rumble. The universe ship fiercely accelerated and rushed into the sky. Big Brother, have a safe trip. Thunder God stood in mid-air, he couldn't help but shout. Similarly standing in mid-air, Luo Feng looked up at the leaving universe ship, muttering, have a safe trip. On this day, year 2066, July 27th, Earth's absolute genius, the pinnacle warrior Hong sat in a universe ship and left his home. This trip lasted for a very, very long time. The Genius Battles Arena Battles had 4 rounds. On the day of Luo Feng and Rong Jun's battle, a total of 625 victors were chosen. As for the other 9,375 participants that were placed in the losers group, after resting for 3 days, they would begin the high-intensity and high-intensity battles. Everyone had to battle 9,374 times, just to fight for the 275 slots. Earth, Jiangnan headquarters city, Yangzhou City. Big Brother has left. Luo Feng sat on the balcony of his own castle, lying there alone, holding a cup of tea. He's gone into the universe to follow the Time Sector Lord, wandering. His mind was still clearly filled with the scenes from the past. His ears still resounded with the three's laughter and vows from yesterday. A few thousand years later, or even tens of thousands of years later, us 3 brothers will compete again. Right, compete again. Let's compete, who's afraid of who? This was a brother's vow. Whether it was Hong, Thunder God or Luo Feng, they were all walking on this path towards the pinnacle of life. And this path was filled with obstacles and dangers. One mistake and one would fall. Pung. Luo Feng put down his wine cup, his eyes gleaming. Big Brother, you work hard, I won't slack off either. Babata, Enter the virtual universe. Luo Feng sent a thread of his consciousness into the virtual universe, in terms of consciousness strength. The universe-level golden horned beast's consciousness was completely capable of sending a thread into the virtual universe, while still remaining conscious in reality. Virtual universe, killing fields within the killing field space. This was a vast space. Luo Feng stood in space. Waha! The demon Babata jumped and shouted, Luo Feng, the arena battles have just ended. You have 3 days to rest. On the first day of rest you've come to the killing fields. You're really hard-working. Tell me, what kind of opponent do you want? I'll help you settle them all. Hee, I love training you the most. I want a spirit weapon. Luo Feng emphasized. A spirit weapon that specializes in flying. It has to be good at dodging and maneuvering in a small area. During the battle with Savage Rongjun, he clearly felt that against the opponent's speed, his own agility was too weak. You've discovered a weakness. The demon Babata rubbed his chin, floating in the air and looking at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, do you want to look at the long term or the short term? Long term? Short term? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. The little demon nodded. Right, the short term is to think of ways to increase your agility to the maximum. You only need 10 days to half a month. As for the long term, that'll be from the basics one step at a time. At the same time, you have to choose a spirit weapon that will accompany you for a very, very long time. Long term. Luo Feng emphasized. I don't lack time. Very good. The little demon snapped his fingers, slightly raising his head. Your choice is very wise. Then the flying spirit weapon I've chosen for you will be the most suitable for the gold and space origin laws, a level 5 spirit weapon, the Dark Cloud Shuttle. The little demon smiled. Of course at the start, you probably won't be able to match up to the soaring shuttle's effect. However, there's no rush, I'll train you well. How long will it take for my agility to increase greatly? Luo Feng asked. Depends on your comprehension. The little demon said, the higher your comprehension, the faster your comprehension of the origin laws. With my series of training, I estimate you'll pass in about a year. If your comprehension is weak, and you don't work hard enough, even 100 years won't be enough. Series of training? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. The little demon grinned, slowly. We have plenty of time, I'll train you well. From year 2066 onwards, the high-intensity losers' circle battles began. Even though it was called high-intensity, in truth there were only 10 battles a day. With Luo Feng's speed, he could finish a battle within a minute. Hence, the daily losers' circle battles, to the other competitors, it might be mentally draining. However, to Luo Feng it was very easy. After all, he was one of the top 10 geniuses in the Ganwu universe country. As for the losers group, including himself, there were a total of 49 who had stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. Amongst them, there were only 2 who could match up to Luo Feng. Hence, the losers' circle battles were very easy, and it actually became a place for Luo Feng to experiment with his own battle technique. Within the killing fields, this was a large grass plain. However, at this time the sky above the grass plain was filled with countless blood birds flying towards Luo Feng. Dodge! 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 Don't touch them! Damn, quick, I have to be quick! This test, there's a possibility of getting full marks. The little demon roared. And Luo Feng stood on a black peculiar shuttle spirit weapon. This dark cloud shuttle even naturally extended out black membranes, directly wrapping around Luo Feng's boot. Luo Feng's entire body had already become a blurry blur, constantly dodging the countless blood birds that covered the sky and land. Chi! 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 Every time a blood bird touched him, he would be continuously hit. Every time he was hit 3 times. Rumble! All the blood birds vanished. You've failed again. The little demon's red eyes stared at Luo Feng, roaring angrily. Continue with the basic training? I've never seen someone as stupid as you. With a wave of his hand, immediately the surrounding grass plain vanished, becoming a huge machine factory. Within it were many complicated machines. Begin. The little demon roared. Luo Feng was very calm, almost as though the little demon Babada's words didn't affect him at all. Under the demon Babada's hellish training, Luo Feng's entire being became even crazier. The little demon also went from being an idiot at the start to being average, still very weak, and later to being barely not bad. As for the golden horned beast, it spent all of its energy on deities of the world, absolute space, and the comprehension of the origin laws of gold. Just like that, time passed. The loser's circle battles didn't seem to consume much of Luo Feng's energy, instead becoming a place for him to experiment with his own strength. And Babada's hellish training, on the other hand, seemed to consume all of Luo Feng's energy every day. P.S. Chapter 1 has ended. Chapter 424. Time continued to flow. Even a being that completely grasped the time origin laws might be able to pause time or even rewind it for a short period of time. However, the universe itself had the ability to automatically adjust and return to normal. No matter how powerful a being was, he wouldn't be able to forcefully distort such a vast universe. The broadcast of the Loser's Circle was like a television series that kept on playing. After all, there were over 9,000 participants. It was inevitable that some special circumstances would occur, causing the battles to drag on for a few days. China year 2069, March 2nd, the last day of the Loser's Circle. Virtual universe Ganwu continent's floating island, within that huge building's elegant guest room. An old man dressed in a plain white robe stood there, bowing slightly, Blade God official. Beside him stood an elite man dressed in golden armor. His face was covered in golden scales. His forehead was slightly curved, a golden horn that looked like a crescent blade. His entire being was like a golden blade that could split the heavens and earth. Even in the virtual universe, the pressure of his consciousness was enough to cause a universe-level warrior's consciousness to crumble. If Luo Feng saw this person, he would definitely be shocked. He looks so much like Baikaluo, only his scales have changed from green to gold. This is the Luo Feng you were talking about? The gold-armored man looked at the screen. The screen was broadcasting a battle that was about to happen. Yes, today is the last day of the Loser's Circle, and this battle should be the most exciting battle of the last day. The old man dressed in a plain white robe smiled. You introducing him, you mean, this punk has the right to charge into the universe's top 1,000? The gold-armored man asked. Blade God official, watch and you'll know. The white-robed old man said. On the screen, dressed in a dark gray armor, and carrying a dark golden long rod on his back, Luo Feng immediately clashed with a short youth wielding two blades. Rumble! The short youth charged forward like lightning, immediately reaching before Luo Feng. However, Luo Feng's expression was cold as he stood on the dark cloud shuttle. Golden energy revolved around it, immediately becoming a golden light that easily dodged the attack. Go! Rumble! A golden illusory sword appeared in midair. Its speed soared in the golden airflow, and it instantly bombarded the short young man. The short young man growled, and a green airflow burst out of his body. He brandished his two sabers, and it was as if he had turned into a monstrous wave to meet the golden sword rainbow. Chi! As the golden sword aura approached, it made an almost perfect S-shaped trajectory, brushing past the edge of the opponent's saber and cutting off his head. Luo Feng, victory! In the reception room. How is it? The white-robed old man smiled. Not bad at all. The gold-armored man nodded. This kid has already grasped the essence of a spirit reader controller. He's stepping on the level 5 spirit weapon Dark Cloud shuttle, yet using it so effortlessly and perfectly. Moreover, when he dodges, his explosive burst is extremely fast, and it seems very easy. That Nanshin armament is infused with the comprehension of the origin laws of metal. It is extremely young and unyielding. Usually, they could only barely change their direction. However, he was actually able to make the Nanshin armament easily form an S-shape within such a short distance. The first layer, illusory sword form, has already reached the large success stage. His fundamentals are extremely good. The gold-armored man nodded, after which he creased his eyebrows. However, based on his strength, I estimate he'll at most make it to rank 3000 to 5000 in the universe rankings. 1008 universe countries, 1,000,000 absolute geniuses gathered. To make it to the top 1000 was simply too difficult. Haha, take a look at this. The white-robed old man pointed at the screen, swiftly pulling up the scene of Luo Feng and Rong Jun's battle from back then. Rong Jun? I've heard of him. I heard he's the most exceptional in your Ganwu universe country. The gold-armored man watched and watched. Only after he finished did he say softly, "This Rong Jun is very strong, however with his strength, he has no hope of getting number 1. He still has a chance of making it to the universe top 10. No hope at all?" The white-robed old man was shocked. There's an absolute genius in this year's competition. The gold-armored man couldn't help but exclaim. He's even stronger than the past number 1 of the genius battles. His comprehension of the space laws has surpassed most sector lords. The white-robed old man was shocked. As for this Luo Feng, I know why you let me watch this video. The gold-armored man exclaimed, "It really surprises me. Compared to Rong Jun, flying and dodging is obviously very taxing. His control is very rough too. He's purely relying on spirit energy to forcefully control the direction. And watching the replay earlier, his control of the Dark Cloud Shuttle is already very perfect. His control of the Nanshin armament, his improvement is shocking too. His comprehension of the origin laws should have improved by quite a bit. Right. How long did your Ganwu universe country's internal selection last?" the gold-armored man asked. "Not even 3 years," the white-robed old man said. "Not even 3 years?" The gold-armored man couldn't help but say, "This Luo Feng, did he hide his strength during his battle with Rong Jun? No, he went through 9,374 battles, match after match. His improvement is very obvious," the white-robed old man exclaimed. "Before the battles, he was at most within the top 10 of our Ganwu universe country. However, in less than 3 years, I'm afraid only Rong Jun can suppress him now. Many of our Ganwu secret region undyings are paying attention to him. His improvement speed is too shocking. And in the battles, his opponents aren't considered strong, hence they can't force him to unleash his full strength. I even suspect his strength is even stronger than what he's displaying now," the white-robed old man said, "and there's still a long time before the pinnacle battles. He can still continue to improve." The gold-armored man smiled. If he continues to improve, when the pinnacle battles of the 1008 universe countries come, he might have a chance to make it into the top 1000, however it'll still be very difficult. When the 2 undyings from the Ganwu secret region and virtual universe company were discussing Luo Feng arrived at the preparation hall of dojo number 00001. Within the preparation hall. "He's Luo Feng. This Luo Feng, how did he improve so quickly?" The teachers in the secret region all said that Luo Feng is currently ranked number 2 amongst our universe country geniuses. When the dark gray armored black short-haired youth appeared in the preparation hall, it immediately caused a round of discussion. During these 3 years of the battles, Luo Feng's shocking improvement speed had attracted the gazes of many warriors. "Madman!" a thick and powerful voice resounded. Luo Feng turned to look. It was the 1-story-tall savage Rong Jun. That savage's hair was still messy and his feet were bare. "Savage!" Luo Feng shouted. "Ha ha ha!" Savage laughed loudly. A smile appeared on Luo Feng's face too. The two of them had always called each other by name before, suddenly calling each other by nickname, That was a joke. Luo Feng, your improvement is really huge, you haven't slacked at all these 3 years. Savage was very impressed with Luo Feng. No matter how strong a genius was, it was only because of his high talent. If he didn't work hard, he would still be eliminated. Luo Feng's improvement so much one could imagine how hard he had been working behind the scenes. I don't dare slack off. Luo Feng shook his head. With you at the front, how would I dare slack off? Attention all. Enter the dojo. The Virtual Universe Company's organizer shouted. Immediately 1,000 geniuses followed the pathway and entered the dojo. Today, there were no spectators in the dojo. 1,000 absolute geniuses from the various galaxies of the Ganwu Universe country stood there, looking at the giant before them. Standing before the 1,000 most exceptional geniuses of the universe country, the giant was at least 8 m tall. Savage Rong Jun beside him was like a little doll. This giant was dressed in a scale armor, wearing a helmet. His entire being emitted a bloodthirsty energy. His eyes were like the gaze of a death god enveloping the group of geniuses. Holding their breath, the 1,000 geniuses all had beads of sweat on their foreheads. In the virtual universe, just one's consciousness is this terrifying? Luo Feng couldn't control the nervousness of his body. His forehead naturally beaded with sweat. Under this pressure, his forehead beaded with sweat was already a reflex mechanism of his body. Congratulations, all of you! A cold voice resounded within the dojo. The 1,000 of you are the most exceptional in our Ganwu universe country. You all have the right to represent our universe country, competing with the geniuses from the other universe countries. However, this pinnacle battle, the difficulty is much higher than your previous battles. 1,008 universe countries. Some of them are even bigger than our Ganwu universe country, with many more galaxies. Because each universe country's situation is different, the internal selection time is different too. Hence, the entire universe humanity, the genius pinnacle battle, will only truly begin after 1.5 years. This 1.5 years is your chance to improve. Luo Feng returned to the Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-Star Bay Little District. It's over. The losers' battles are over. Luo Feng exclaimed. The losers' battles are over, however, your training hasn't. The fist-sized little demon on his shoulder shouted. Luo Feng, your Nanshan armament can only unleash 5 golden blades at once under such a desperate situation, and it's still very difficult. Unleashing 3 golden blades will be the most powerful. One person could barely wield a 100 kilograms blade. However, when he wielded a 30 kilograms blade, his attack power was actually the strongest. One theory. Each of the 5 golden illusory swords became clumsy and unwieldy. Understood. Luo Feng nodded and smiled. Thinking back to these 3 years, indeed, his improvement had shocked many. In truth, back when he participated in the elimination, the golden horned beast had only been at the universe level for 2 years. Which meant, the 5-level domains and stepping into the gold origin laws were results from 2064 to 2066. And now that 3 years had passed, it wasn't strange for his results to be high. My second body is close to being nurtured. Luo Feng was anticipating the birth of his second body, the Masha clansman. 2 chapters completed. Today's recommendation votes almost made it to number 1. Brothers, please support me with your recommendation vote. These votes are free, every reader has one. Smash the recommendation votes, smash them to your heart's content. Chapter 425. When the Ganwu Universe country's internal selection had just ended, in another human universe country extremely far away from the Ganwu Universe country, Savage Universe country, the internal selection was still ongoing. Savage Universe country, why it was named that way? It was because this universe country had 2 extremely terrifying human races, the Manka people and the desolate god race. These 2 races were ranked in the top 10 of the human bloodlines in the universe. Even if they didn't train, they could easily become a strong domain lord once they matured. To be able to evolve their bloodlines to such a level, the ancestors of the Manka people and the desolate god race naturally gave birth to many undyings. These two races had very few people, but they were the core of the entire savage universe country, the true royal families. There was once a sector lord who kidnapped a Manka child. After being discovered, the Manka people sent out a group of undyings to destroy the entire organization the sector lord was in, even killing the two undyings within the organization. As for the sector lord who dared to kidnap the child, he was tortured for millions of years, until the end of his lifespan, before dying tragically. Daring to touch my Manka child, die. Daring to touch my desolate god child, die. 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 The Manka people and desolate god race, dying in battle was an honor to them. However, whoever dared to kidnap their child and use their bloodline, that was offending the entire race. The Manka planet was the home of the Manka people. The entire planet was moved to a vast god country. Within the Manka planet, in an oval-shaped castle, the guards at the entrance were all universe-level warriors. "Congratulations, Your Majesty! Congratulations, Your Majesty!" The two sector lords smiled as they looked at the youth casually sitting at the table and eating. This was a Manka youth. He had the traditional good looks of the Manka people. He wore a silver armor, black hair, his head lowered as he ate, mumbling, "What's there to congratulate? Isn't it just a spot? It's not that easy." The two sector lords looked at each other and smiled. "Your Majesty." The slightly fatter sector lord smiled. "The Ganwu Universe Country's internal selection has ended." "Ganwu Universe Country?" The Manka youth raised his head, creasing his eyebrows. "I've heard, Father said that the Ganwu Universe Country leader is very powerful. However, in the recent 100 genius battles, the Ganwu Universe Country hasn't produced any outstanding figures. This time there's one that needs attention," the fat sector lord said respectfully. "Oh, say it." The Manka youngster lowered his head again, quickly sweeping the food on the table. The two sector lords looked at each other and smiled. Their Highness had the Manka people's best tradition, a love to eat, love to fight, careless. However, even though the Manka people were careless, their brain regions were extremely wide, so they were still very smart. That was why they were able to join forces with the desolate god race and lead the desolate god universe country. "Your Majesty." The fat sector lord smiled. "The absolute genius from the Ganwu Universe Country is called Rong Jun. His attainments in the origin laws of Earth and space are extremely high, and he has already reached the level where he can leave behind illusory figures in space." "Illusory body?" The Manka youngster suddenly raised his head. "Right." The two sector lords nodded at the same time. "This is troublesome." The Manka youngster slammed the table and stood up. "To be able to leave behind an illusion in space, this is not just a matter of explosive speed. Moreover, he even had accomplishments in the origin source law of Earth. With the two of them working together, his attack will definitely be very, very fierce and unstoppable." "Yes." The two world overlords nodded. This Manka youngster was the most outstanding genius of the current Manka generation. Since he was young, he had received guidance from many undyings on the Manka planet. Hence his vision was extremely high. With just a little bit of information, he could roughly guess the opponent's battle style and strength in his mind. Of course, even though they were called the most outstanding geniuses, in reality, the number of Manka youths who were still at the star level didn't even reach 1,000. "Your Majesty, according to the information we've gathered, as well as our judgment, this youth called Rong Jun has the strength to charge into the top 10, and from the information we've gathered, he's been hiding his strength. Who knows, he might not even have used his full strength in the last battle." The fat sector lord continued. "He even said his goal is to be the universe's number 1. Top 10? Number 1? The Manka youngster stared. Why are they all so arrogant, and their strength isn't bad? There are too many universe countries. 1008 universe countries, but these bunch of arrogant bastards, when the time comes, they'll all be swept away by me. Number 1 is mine. The two sector lords laugh. Their majesty was filled with battle intent, however this was after all a battle between all the geniuses of the universe. Geniuses with high bloodlines and those with weaker bloodlines, these races had huge populations. Picking one out of 10 billion or even 100 trillion, they were usually stronger than picking one out of these hundreds of yous. Your Majesty, in the Ganwu universe country, other than Rong Jun, there's another called Luo Feng. The fat sector lord said. Another one? The Manka youngster stared. No. The fat sector lord shook his head. His strength is much weaker than Rong Jun's. However, what you need to take note of is, compared to 3 years ago, his strength has improved tremendously. We're guessing he has a certain chance of making it into the top 1,000, and he's extremely calm during battles. Who knows, he might even beat those stronger than him. Hence your Majesty has to take note of him. Don't get careless. I say, Uncle Fatty. The Manka youngster said helplessly, a chance of making it into the top 1,000? Don't tell me about such people. There's no challenge at all, no threat at all. The universe's top 1,000, it's no problem for me. However, the top 1,000, from the first to the 1,000th, the treatment is different. My goal is to reach the heavens in one step, directly entering the highest core of the virtual universe company, the primal region. Hence I'll let you take note of those who can make it into the top 10. As for that, Luo Feng? Don't bother, I'll deal with him in one move. The two sector lords glanced at each other, smiling. Then we'll wait for your Majesty to enter the primal region. In the vast universe, humanity was one of the pinnacle races, occupying an extremely large area. And at this time, within the 1008 universe countries, the internal selection of geniuses, many were still in progress. Many had already finished. The absolute geniuses ranked 1 and 2 in their respective universe countries, with a little bit of ability, were all gathering information on potential threats within the other universe countries. Ganwu universe country, in a vast space. A giant stood in space. The space around him was completely warped. Within the warped space, it was impossible to discern his appearance. I'll let you all nurture the younger generation in the Ganwu secret region, selecting over 100 million geniuses from the entire universe countries, in the best places, under the best conditions. However, our universe country's final selection of the most outstanding ones were called Rong Jun and Luo Feng. They weren't nurtured by our Ganwu secret area. The voice rumbled, the surrounding space shook, almost as though it was about to shatter. The three white-robed undyings all bowed, their foreheads perspiring uncontrollably. You all, what use do you have? The thick voice was like a huge axe chopping down on the souls of the three undyings, causing their expressions to go pale, simultaneously kneeling down. To be able to nurture someone stronger than the Ganwu secret region, it also means that the two of them are outstanding. Especially Rong Jun, to be ranked in the universe's top 10, that's a good thing. Let's hope he can enter the primal region, to our Ganwu universe country. It'll be of great benefit in the future. The thick voice's anger had obviously decreased. Nurturing the younger generation has wasted a lot of your time. The three of you should first train well and raise your own strength. As for nurturing the younger generation, I'll arrange for others. The thick voice didn't have any obstructions in space, directly entering the ears and souls of the three undyings. Yes, country leader. The three of them replied respectfully. Go! At this time, the three undyings let out a sigh of relief and left respectfully. The 1,000 geniuses from the Ganwu universe country that qualified, they had a year and a half to rest. Of course none of them could relax this year and a half. Whether it was Rong Jun, Luo Feng, or the geniuses nurtured by the Ganwu Emperor or Rong Jun, they were all working hard. Rong Jun wanted to become the strongest. Luo Feng was even more unwilling to return home after just one battle. As for the geniuses nurtured by the Ganwu Emperor, they were actually suppressed by Rong Jun and Luo Feng, who didn't have as good of a nurturing environment as them. Naturally, they had to hold it in. All of them were fighting hard. I lost. Luo Feng, you lost again. I still lost. Alright, today's 3 battles with Rong Jun have ended. Within the Killing Fields desert, the little demon Babata waved his hand. Immediately savage Rong Jun, who was standing beside him, immediately vanished. This was the Rong Jun that was simulated within the Killing Field. As for strength, intelligence and experience, they were naturally based on reality. Luo Feng stood in the desert, frowning. I still lost. Luo Feng, don't be discouraged. You and Rong Jun, the main thing is that the difference in origin law comprehension is too huge. You've only comprehended the gold origin laws, even though you've improved quite a bit. However, that Rong Jun, his Earth origin law comprehension isn't any lower than yours. His space origin laws are equally profound. The difference in strength is huge. It's no surprise that you lost. The little demon Babata said. Luo Feng nodded. The opponents simulated by the Killing Fields, their experience and intelligence could be set very high. That Rong Jun knew some of Luo Feng's moves, knowing himself and his opponent, he immediately won even more easily. His defense is too strong. The Earth origin laws, they originally focused on defense. Luo Feng exclaimed, and the space origin law comprehension, after merging into his domain, it made his control over the space around him even stronger. His defense, even when I control the 3 golden blades, I can't do anything to him. He was originally very confident. However, with just Rong Jun, he had stumped himself. Right, Luo Feng, the Masha clansman should be born in another 3 days. The little demon said. Luo Feng's face revealed a look of anticipation. The Masha clan was known as the strongest assassin clan in the universe, able to be considered the strongest amongst the countless human races in terms of assassination. Just a piece of skin after death could be sold for an astronomical price. One could only imagine how strong the Masha clansman was. P.S. Chapter 1 has ended. Chapter 426. Earth's Asia continent, China's Yangzhou city. Early in the morning, Luo Feng stepped on the dark cloud shuttle and became a golden beam of light, immediately disappearing into the east horizon. In the air above the East Ocean, Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle and looked east, at the red sun that slowly rose from the horizon. This level 5 spirit weapon is indeed different from a level 3 spirit weapon. Luo Feng looked down at the dark cloud shuttle beneath his feet. This was bought during the last Ganwu auction. The Ganwu auction was held once every 3 years. The first one was at the end of year 2065 in China's time. He had spent quite a bit of money that time. And another one was held at the end of year 2068. At that time, he was in the loser's circle battles. Hence, he specially applied to rest for 10 days to participate in the auction. The loser's circle battles were adjustable. As there were over 9,000 people, who knows what might happen in the next 3 years. Hence, the number of battles was more flexible. In theory, there should be 100 battles in those 10 days. Back then, he had discussed with his opponents and they all agreed. Only then did the organizers agree to his application, giving him the chance to participate in the auction. 1 dark cloud shuttle, 2 units of the water ku fruit, I only spent 1 mixed element. Luo Feng exclaimed, luckily I have my brother's investment. During the 2065 auction, due to buying the Masha clansman skin, the Nanshin armament and the water ku fruit, he had a few $100 billion universe dollars left. Not even enough for 1 mixed element. These 3 years, he hadn't earned much. Luckily, when the last auction ended, his brother had over 2 trillion universe dollars. After 3 years of operation, even though he had fallen a few times, he still had 6 mixed elements. In 3 years, he had earned close to 200% profit. The more money he had, the harder it was to earn. Even many large organizations, even the investment departments of the Universe First Bank and Universe Galaxy Bank, had invited his brother Luo Hua. I earn it myself, I make all my own decisions, how awesome is that? To go to those departments, I still have to listen to the higher-ups, how troublesome. I'm not going. This was what his brother Luo Hua said to him. Stepping on the dark cloud shuttle, he stood in the air above the East Ocean. I still don't have enough money, Luo Feng thought. The golden horned beast, cloud contact vine, and even the Masha clansmen. They all require large amounts of money to nurture. And my main body too requires money. In theory, the golden horned beast should be Luo Feng's main body. However, subconsciously, Luo Feng still used the Earth human body as his main body. The golden horned beast was currently at the universe level. Just the metal it swallowed wasn't expensive. The golden horned beast was now at the universe level. Just the metal it swallowed wasn't expensive. The higher the cloud contact vine, the harder it was to evolve. Right now, the effects of the billowing water fruit were very good, but as the cloud contact vine became stronger, the money invested was also a bottomless pit. Back then, Hu Yenbo had paid a terrifying price for his cloud contact vine to reach the immortal level. Masha clansmen knew very little. Luo Feng's earth body, just the Nanshan armament, the dark cloud shuttle and the nutrition cabin alone, had already invested a huge amount of money. And this was only for the star level. As one's horizons increased in the future, the cost would probably be even more shocking. Luo Feng had seen some of the universe's absolute treasures in the auction. One of them was worth a few thousand mixed elements. Babata couldn't even be bothered to tell Luo Feng about these treasures. Golden Horned Beast, Universe Level 7. Cloud Contact Vine, Universe Level 6. My main body, Star Level 9. Luo Feng thought, from now on, my main body will stop training. The Golden Horned Beast required 15 years to go from the Universe Level 1 to 3. From the 4 to 6, each level required 20 years, a total of 60 years. And the 7, 8, and 9 levels each required 120 years. As for the Universe Level 9 to step into the Domain Lord level, it required 500 years. The entire Universe level process would normally take close to 1,000 years. From the time he stepped into the Universe Level 6 in 2055 to now October 2059, it had already been about 4 years. Relying on the best metal combination to absorb energy from the internal space, the efficiency reached 56 times, comparable to 224 years. And Luo Feng needed 240 years to step into the 7 and 8 levels. Hence, right now he was only at the Universe Level 7. Just a little bit more to reach the Universe Level 8. As for the Cloud Contact Vine, it was already a Universe Level 2 in the world within a world. And back then it had some life fruit energy that hadn't been completely digested. Along with over 100 of the billowing water fruits, it had long grown to the Universe Level 6. It was just that the difficulty of going from Level 6 to 7 was huge. It's about to be born. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Rumble! A black triangular ship suddenly appeared in the sky. Luo Feng stepped on the dark cloud shuttle and swiftly entered the ship. After which the ship accelerated and rushed into the sky, passing through the atmosphere and leaving Earth, heading towards Mars. Solar system, Mars surface, in a huge crater, the universe ship landed within. Within the resting room of the ship, Luo Feng sat crossed-legged, his consciousness completely entering the internal world. Within the internal world, that vast golden continent that was surrounded by golden mist. The golden horned beast that was more than 10 miles long was currently raising its head, a pair of dark golden eyes looking at the golden egg in the sky. It's about time. The golden horned beast's cold eyes had a sense of anticipation. Ka, ka, ka. The already incredibly thin golden egg suddenly cracked open and fell from mid-air, revealing an extremely peculiar black crystal. This crystal had a total of 10,081 sides, At the same time, every surface had incomparably complicated golden engravings. The golden engravings had completely assimilated into the entire crystal. This was the core of the Masha clansmen, the life crystal. Appear! A low roar resounded throughout the entire golden continent. Hoo! Streams of black energy swiftly flowed out of the life crystal and quickly condensed into a naked, yellow-skinned, black-haired man. It was the naked Luofeng, exactly the same as Luofeng himself. Mars, sand filled the sky on the surface. The dark red-armored Luofeng and the black-armored Luofeng, along with the mountain-like huge golden-horned beast, were all on the surface. Interesting. The two Luofengs and the golden-horned beast exchanged glances. As for the true life core, it could instantly appear within the body, or within the golden-horned beast, or within the Masha clansman. Return. The golden-horned beast vanished, leaving behind only the two Luofengs. Return. The dark red-armored Luofeng vanished. Return. The black-clothed Luofeng vanished too. The three of them entered the internal world, leaving behind a transparent crystal ball in the outside world. On the surface of the crystal ball were incomparably complicated golden engravings, emitting a golden light. So, the black-clothed Luofeng appeared. The life crystal alone in the outside world isn't very safe. The black-clothed Luofeng thought. As for this Masha clansman, transform. The black-clothed Luofeng seemed to transform like the energy flow, swiftly transforming into the tall savage Rongjun, and then transforming again, becoming a golden-horned beast that was only 10 m long. Then a thick willow tree, and finally the black-clothed Luofeng. Energy life forms are indeed special. Luofeng smiled. This Masha clansman was an energy life form. It didn't have a fixed appearance, it could change at will. Of course, if one wanted to transform into a 30 kilometers tall giant, with a body defense comparable to a universe level 2, the energy consumption would be very high. Hence normally, one would try not to change too much. The Masha clansman is known as the strongest assassin clan. So it's because of this. Luofeng felt the difference between the Masha clansman and the other bodies. The favored child of space, it's indeed not fake. When he had the third body, the Masha clansman, Luofeng naturally knew of the Masha clansman's natural abilities. Natural abilities. Copy. In terms of life form, the Masha clansman was completely different from humans and golden-horned beasts. Humans and golden-horned beasts were at least flesh and blood life forms. However, the Masha clansman was an energy life form. It didn't even have a soul. To be more precise, the life crystal was its soul and its source of energy. Hence, the Masha clansman wasn't afraid of spirit attacks. At the same time, they were unable to unleash spirit attacks, much less control objects. Hence the Masha clansman walked the path of a fighter. And the natural abilities, copy, allowed the Masha clansman to copy the target's life energy, soul energy, etc. Their bodies could freely transform, and the moment they used this ability to copy the target's soul energy, then they would become an undying being, unless one used spirit energy to drill into their body to check. Otherwise, from the outer appearance and energy, one wouldn't be able to discover the Masha clansman's disguise. This was no longer a disguise. It was a copy. Natural abilities. Copy. You wouldn't be able to imagine. The grandson you doted on so much had actually become a Masha clansman assassin. This seemingly simple natural ability, however, made the Masha clansmen the most terrifying assassin clan in the entire universe. They were able to transform into any form of life form, able to disguise any life energy or soul energy. Of course, if the opponent was suspicious from the start and used spirit energy to drill into their body, naturally they would be exposed. Favored by space. How peculiar. Luofeng could feel the Masha clansman, it could faintly feel the ripples in the surrounding space. And the Earth-human body, the golden-horned beast, couldn't feel it at all. Absolute space. Luofeng fiercely unleashed his movement, simultaneously the black crystal with 10,081 facets began to revolve, the complicated golden engravings on its surface began to ripple, almost as though it was responding to the ripples of the universe space. Schwa. On the desert of Mars, 2 Luofangs immediately appeared, after which 3 Luofangs, 4 Luofangs, 5 Luofangs. Schwa. Luofeng stop. It's too peculiar, too peculiar. The Masha clansmen's flying and dodging are too easy, it's simply unbelievable. Luo Feng's face was filled with shock. My comprehension of absolute space is very little. These 3 years, I can only be considered to have touched the entrance of the space origin laws. However, I'm not even at the entry level. But even though my comprehension is very little, using the Masha clansmen to unleash it, its speed is even faster and stranger. I can even feel the ripples in space. Luo Feng was shocked. Switch. The Masha clansman vanished. Dark red armored Luo Feng appeared. The Earth-human body. Luo Feng looked around. There was no longer that peculiar feeling from before. Everything had become very normal. This Mars was still Mars. The universe was still the universe. There was no longer that wonderful feeling of space ripples from before. Rumble. Luo Feng unleashed his movement. It was unpredictable and shockingly fast. However, that was it. It was unable to distort the space to create illusions. It feels like the Masha clansman in space is like a fish in water. Luo Feng thought. A human's swimming speed in water definitely couldn't compare to his running speed on land. And a fish's jumping speed on land definitely couldn't compare to its speed in water. One theory. The Masha clansman was naturally favored by the space origin laws. In the universe space, they were like fish in water. Even if their comprehension was low, the Masha clansman's movement would be many levels higher. Sick. Luo Feng couldn't help but exclaim. Of course, they are hailed as the strongest assassin race. Energy life, flesh and blood life, machine life, metal life, plant life, etc. There are trillions of different life forms. To be able to be hailed as the strongest assassin race amongst the countless races. Is that a joke? Babata said. Natural ability. Copy, even though it's just a natural ability. However, in truth, the most sick thing about the Masha clansmen is, they can feel the ripples in space. They are naturally compatible with the space origin laws. This allows them to unleash space-related techniques. Their power greatly increases. At the same time, comprehending the space laws is much easier than humans. Hence, any Masha clansman has already stepped through the doorway of the space laws. Their movements are peculiar, with thousands of changes. They can transform into any person, any form. Because their disguise is perfect, their attacks are strong too. If their attack fails, they can immediately escape. The most important thing is, it's not just one clansman, all of them are strong. Hence, they are hailed as the strongest assassin race. Babata said. Luo Feng took a deep breath. No wonder the Masha clansman's damaged skin was so expensive. The Masha clansman's normal transformations didn't have engravings on the surface. And when they were killed, most of them died from their cores shattering, their bodies dissipating, leaving behind only the damaged cores, and no skin would appear. There was only one circumstance that would cause the origin of space runes in the life crystal core to appear on the skin. Those were indeed true engravings infused with the space origin laws, hence the skin was incomparably expensive. However, in the genius battle, I can only use the body given by the virtual universe to battle. And I can't use the Masha clansman. Luo Feng thought. Right now it's October, there's less than a year left till the pinnacle battle between the 1008 universe countries. What you can do now is to use the Masha clansman to imitate the golden horned beast form, and then study the absolute space technique. Babata said. The training process of the absolute space technique was only suitable for the golden horned beast form. Of course, with the comprehension of the space laws, all the clansmen could use it. After all, it was the same consciousness. Luo Feng nodded. Less than a year. Luo Feng took a deep breath. Right, Babata. I should be able to use the Masha clansman to retrieve the bank account my teacher left me. The Yun Mo planet master had split his inheritance into 3 accounts. They were separated into star level, universe level, and domain lord level disciples. I wanted to finish this chapter in one go, hence I wrote an extra 1,000 words, after which I'm late. Haha, I'll catch up tomorrow at 3. Brothers, let's count our tickets. Monthly tickets, recommendation tickets, anything is fine.